had to shake them demons. I had to shake them demons off me. Hey, yo, what's cracking, family? We in the building, Jeward. We in the building, hand. Hey, yo. Hey, yo, sorry, y'all. Sorry for keep pushing the time back, y'all. All right, I'm just a scattered air sign, lost in the middle of retrograde season. Okay? But we're gonna get into some vibes today. We got some things to talk about today. We got some nice, the moon is in Scorpio, and we got some nice 8th house Scorpio-like things to discuss today. So happy Mercury Day to everybody in the building. Okay, happy Mercury Day. Once again, I hope everybody's having a great post-new moon week. All right. Give it a couple of minutes, give it like 2 more minutes. Warm up the chat a little bit. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Shout out to everybody who liked the video already. Shout out to everybody, got the vibes a little lit ahead of time. Left some comments down there. All right, let's get some shout outs going. A little some in the building. Hold on, y'all. Let me put my charger in before shit start cutting off on the brother. Trey Finesse was good, family. Dito Levy, excuse me if I pronounce your name wrong. Greetings from Amsterdam. Scorpio Sun in the building. What's going on, family? Glad you're here. Okay, we in the building. We in the building. Abina, 9 by nature, 88. What's going on, family? What's going on, family? MMG, A Luminous Eyes is in the building. The Scarred Owl is in the building. All right. I know Dawn gonna be in the building. I don't know if she's in the building now, but I know she's gonna be in the building. Official Sess almost cussed me out because I kept pushing the time back, but I know she in the building. Isis in the building. All right. Sierra Waters. We got Sierra Waters in the building. Shout out to the Soul family. All right. Shout out to the Soul family. Got the Martian Empresses in the building. Got all my Scorpio placements in the building. All right, bet. Let's get it. The moon is in a nice little 8th house space right now. Okay, family. So yeah. Let's get into the vibes. We here. So before we get into this serial killing ass nigga's natal energies, let's just jump into some current vibes real quick, family. All right. So the moon entered. Now let me go ahead and share some energies with you. All right, guys. So we got what's the name? So we got the moon up in Scorpio, guys. Y'all already know the sun is in Libra. So once again, the sun is going to be the awareness, the consciousness, and the moon is going to make its way through every sign once during every solar cycle. So right now, this is Scorpio's time to deal with some lunar energy as the sun is in Libra. So we know with the sun in Libra, what's the consciousness? What's the target of our consciousness? What are we supposed to be paying attention to? What are we supposed to be action oriented towards? Relationships, our ability to connect with others on a one-on-one level, understanding how our relationships affect our ability to be stable, observing and analyzing anything dealing with agreements, partnerships, group endeavors, all of these. If there's something you're into participating right now and it ain't just you by yourself, and it got other people involved, make sure you got everything that's supposed to be going on with that shit on point, especially with retrograde season. You feel me? If there's supposed to be certain percentages and cuts you're supposed to be getting right now, make sure you get your bread. Make sure you get your chicken. Like Jupiter's in Aries, Chiron is Aries. Like we ain't playing that right now. So it's going to be a lot of, with Jupiter being Aries and being opposite towards the sun for a portion of this season, there's going to be a lot of times where it's going to be some intensity fighting for our individuality, standing for ourselves, but also doing it in the name of bringing balance to our relationships. So, you know, sometimes you got to be on your Martin Luther King shit, sometimes you got to be on your Malcolm X shit. But the brothers both wanted peace. You get my drift, y'all? Y'all see what Sierra Waters just said? If you don't want any babies, I advise you to strap up. A lot of karmic energies in the air right now. All right? Speaking of karmic energies, we're going to get into some karmic placements when we look at this serial killer ass nigga's chart. All right? But official says that we made it. It's all good. All right, my bad. I didn't want to get my ass beat by Aries. It's a fucked up Libra season. How is Libra season I get my ass beat by Aries? Type of shit the solar system got going on. Ain't y'all lying. These stars ain't in my favor. Talking about your solar return season. How the fuck I get my ass beat then? Ain't I supposed to be the one shining? I'm supposed to be shining. Nigga, a little bruised up right now. So, guys, we got the moon in Scorpio, and what that does with the sun being in Libra, these next 2.5 days, this portion of the week is going to be dealing with looking at the subconscious of our relationships. Sun in air, moon in water, we're dealing with feeling the relationship out some more. Despite the actions, despite the expression, how do I feel about this relationship? And we know Scorpio has an investigative ass motherfucking mind. So when you got this type of alignment, some of us might be going a little too far or being a little too extreme, trying to get information, some air out of our relationships, some information, some clarity, some knowledge. So yeah, motherfuckers is going to be trying to crack all type of phone codes these next 2 days. Motherfucker gonna be on the phone on Tuesday, like, all right, today I'm gonna put in the birthday. I hope this, because you know you only get a couple tries until that bitch lock. On Monday, you get that bitch three tries, you like, fuck, damn, I gotta wait till Tuesday. Motherfucker, it's 4 a.m. Your girlfriend, boyfriend, knock the fuck out. Drool all in the motherfucker. Your ass over there trying to, you put in the social security codes, birthdays, y'all daughter, y'all child social security. Like, what the fuck is this motherfucker's phone code? The moon is in Scorpio and the sun is in Libra. I'm trying to get in this motherfucker right now. Shit, bitch. I'm gonna be doing like the moon's in Scorpio. There's gonna be a whole lot of cussing going on right now. I got the moon all over my Mercury. Literally, as we speak, all over the Mercury, all over the Mars, all over the Pluto. So sorry, y'all. This motherfucking live stream about to be raw as shit. This live stream for to be raw as shit. In the settings, they be asking you as a YouTube creator, is this motherfucker appropriate for children? I might have to turn that motherfucker off the motherfucker right there. They gonna get my ass up off YouTube. This nigga talk about too much. This nigga is one thing to be all to be cussing every other sentence. Is another thing to be talking about the eighth house and the cult shit. We don't like motherfuckers doing either one, and you doing both of them motherfuckers. And you doing it while the moon is in Scorpio, so that bitch a little bit more intense. All right, I have so many Scorpio places. This is why I feel like this. That's exactly why your ass feel like that. That's exactly why your ass be angry. Don't know why, motherfucker. Aries, Mars. Mars placements be angry. Don't know why. Mars placements be angry on days you're supposed to be crying tears of joy. On days you're supposed to be happy. Nigga going up, my motherfucking Aries, Scorpio going up on the stage to get their diploma graduation, angry as shit. Just give me my shit. The fuck about it. Like, nigga, you was you worked for this, motherfucker. What the fuck is you angry for? Everybody else celebrating. Motherfucker, we ain't giving you we ain't say no gift, bitch. You earned it. You could be happy. You could celebrate a little bit. God damn. Mars placements, Aries, Scorpios. I know life hard, but it ain't. There's some times that's good. a few good times here and there. All right. Glass ain't always halfway empty out this motherfucker. Shit. Right, like Sierra Water said, only 18 it up for this one. They ain't fucking around this evening. I actually should have kept pushing this live stream later until the motherfucking sun went down. It's a little too bright outside to be having this talk we about to have. Don't judge me, Pluto. Pluto chart problems. Listen, man. Pluto's a motherfucker, man. Pluto is a motherfucker. Me and the Aries rising Scorpio moon. Listen, I was just talking to Sierra Waters earlier today, telling her I gotta chill out. I've been dragging Aries and Mars signs a little bit too much this early Libra season. She like that. This is your season, you got it. They can't really do shit. I'm like, shit, you is right out this mother. But I'm gonna be easy on y'all. My bad, y'all. I'm a Libra Scorpio cuss. I'm a cuss baby, so shit. I be talking about my own shit. All right. So I'm a relationship Libra head ass nigga, but a dark Libra out this mother. Yo, the way I be telling on myself in front of y'all is really crazy. It's really crazy. But yeah, you can't be just trusting any Libra Scorpio. I'll tell you that shit right now. I work with my spiritual family and my ancestors and my past life, my past life karma, so I can be open and communicate about it, express it. But it ain't easy dealing with Scorpio energies. It ain't easy dealing with 8th house energies. It ain't easy dealing with Mars Pluto energies. I get on Mars people all the time, but it's like I'm a Mars in Scorpio, Libra Scorpio cusp. So I be mad at myself about the shit I be saying, the shit I be annoyed at with y'all last. I'm really subconsciously projecting that shit on y'all because I be mad at myself like a motherfucker. You know, motherfuckers hate shit in other people they don't like in themselves. The relationship part of me, the compromised, logical part of me, be beefing with the motherfucking impatient, stubborn, detached part of me. So yeah, listen, y'all, we're gonna get into it. Man. We're gonna get into it. But the moon is in Scorpio, the sun is in Libra, y'all. So we dealing with the subconscious aspects to our relationship. So just be careful not being too extreme. All right, these are neighbor signs. So Libra learns a whole lot from Scorpio, and Scorpio learns a whole lot from Libra. All right. And as of right now, any children being born right now or from like the late 80s, if you a Scorpio, you got Libra energy. All right. Just based off of constellations moving over time. So if you was born anywhere with like from the mid 80s, you feel me? Your ass got energies from the sign before you. All right. So Virgo's got some Leo influences. Taurus has got some Aries influences. All right. So that's important to understand. And yeah, we could just be extreme as to how deep we go to find certain information or get clarity about things in our relationships. It could be a great time to have intense conversations in your relationship. Is a good time for that. You know, there's times that favors there's energies that favor everything. There's literally weeks where you really want to probably have the type of conversation with somebody. You like, you know what? Let me wait till Thursday till the moon get in this motherfucker because this motherfucker's a Capricorn sun and they ain't fucking with the energies right now today. They ain't gonna be able to receive it better. The moon deal with receiving. All right. So if you understand individuals in your life, that's how you could work some simple moon magic. Like the most simple, basic moon, like just understanding, like, okay, for me, for example, I'm a Libra sun. My mother's a Gemini, right? She a Gemini Scorpio moon. You know, so let's say I want to point something out to my mother dealing with some insecurity about myself, something that's hidden with me, and I'm about to express it to her. You feel me? And I know it can impact her. I know she can take the news hard. If the moon is in water, knowing she's a Scorpio moon, so she's already kind of used to dealing with intensity in her life. She's a Scorpio moon. She's already used to dealing with transformations, death, whether it's actual people dying or transformations in her life, intense information, unpredictable shit. She already gonna be used to that. But if I wait till a water and moon transit, she could digest it a bit better. She could just digest it a bit better because she's gonna naturally be harmonizing with the element that we're in. So she a Scorpio moon. So if I break that news down to her, you feel me? Like, listen, Bob, listen. You might not be fucking with me out this way. I gotta let you know some shit right now. All right. I got locked up 6 months ago. I got a whole felony. All right. On my ass, I'm about to go. I've been on bond this whole time. I'm gonna go in this weekend, Ma. I'm sorry. I meant to. I couldn't. All right. Just put some money on my books. All right. Put some money on my books. So I've been working out so much. I don't know what them niggas gonna do to me in there. Feel me? So I'll choose a Pisces moon transit, little Cancer moon transit. Hopefully she gonna feel for me some more. She's gonna be able to ride the wave of emotion a little bit more around that time. You know, she's gonna be able to just feel it and not overwhelm herself with trying to rationalize around it or strategize around it. It's like the moon is in water. Just feel it out right now. Just feel like ain't nothing to do. The nigga go to jail this weekend. All right, the nigga go to jail this weekend. So, all right, but that might have been a weak ass example. But overall, you know, let's say it's just, or you want to plan. Let's say you want to plan an event that's dealing with socializing in some type of shape or form. You feel me? If you could plan the event any day of the week, but there's a day there's going to be 2.5 days this week where the moon is in the air sign, I would choose that portion, that Tuesday, that Thursday. It would help the strangers that's there to socialize a bit better. It'll help other people adapt to energies dealing with communication and relatability, even if they're more introverted or whatnot. The energies in the air will be a little bit more inviting, and it'll make it a bit more comfortable for you to dive into that energy, even if your energies are squaring and opposing the moon element. If you're in an environment that everybody's in air energy and the moon is in air at the time, you're naturally going to be able to adapt to that a bit better, you know? So it's just in different situations, you feel me? It's in different situations. If I got me a little honey, I'm finna take on a date, whatnot. I got a busy week, but the moon is in air, one of them, you feel me? We gonna wait till that moon get in air or water, a little something, because we finna connect. Moon and fire, your ass. I need to be able. Moon and fire might be a little bit too much passion to be able to really sit down and get to know your funky ass. You feel me? Might be a little bit too much passion. Moon and earth shit might be moving a little too slow. All right, we ain't got to go too fast, but baby, I ain't trying to go too slow now. But moon and air, moon and water for a date, we good. We wavy. Moon and water, we build a nice little deep connection. You feel me? Build a nice little comfort zone. We both more in tune with the subconscious. You feel me? You're probably not going to talk as much that you would on a regular date because you're feeling the vibes a little bit more. So, you feel me? Real recognize real. It's all good, baby. You ain't got to say it. I feel it already. I feel it. This is the first date. We already on our telepathic shit already. Imagine when we 6 months in. So that water energy, give it water. With the moon and water, motherfuckers do a better job listening a little bit out this motherfuckers. Water signs, they do a better job listening than a lot of other motherfuckers. The air fire signs, you motherfuckers can't shut the fuck up. At least a water sign let you get your shit off. At least a water sign let you emotionally dump on their ass. Water signs be knowing they're getting emotionally dumped on, still let you do that shit. Like, I've been having such a good week. This motherfucker just showed up in my house 3 a.m. uninvited complaining about their motherfucking baby daddy and shit. God damn. Tired as shit right now. But I'm just trying to be, no, it's okay. No, I'm paying attention. I'm good. What would you say? Yeah, that motherfucker ain't shit. Right? Shit. Whole time in your head, sick as hell. But water sign, they good friends like that, though. Water signs, good friends like that. Air signs, see, we the relationship signs, but we tricky, though. You come to my house 3 a.m. talking emotionally dumping on me, I will fuck you up with these words, make you think I care. Your ass, I'm gonna subliminally talk your ass out the house, though. I'm gonna use some of this air to get your ass out my house. Sooner or later, like, shit, that's crazy. What time is it? Shit. Huh? What I gotta do in the morning? Oh shit. I got a couple things to do early in the morning. Shit, I haven't been getting that much sleep lately, and it's so funny. It's like before you came here, I was like, damn, this is the most sleepiest I ever felt like in months. But then you just popped up, so it's just crazy how all of this just came together right now. But anyways, yeah, that shit you're going through is crazy. I'm gonna throw some shit at you mentally is gonna make you think like, oh shit, this motherfucker don't want me here. I'm gonna mentally plant that seed in your head. Water signs, they gonna let you get your shit off. So shout out to all the Scorpios, Cancers, and Pisces in the building. That is on that type time. Because if you a water sign and you got extra turned up placements, then if you one of them water signs that you don't do it's hard for you to stay in the subconscious realm. So you have a placement, maybe you're a water moon, but you got a fire sun or you got an air sun. So it's hard for you to keep your water moon emotions internal. Your sun always pushes them out. It's not like you got a water sun or earth moon to keep it internal. So if you're a moon in water, you got an air fire sun. Those might not be the water signs that might let you just emotionally dump or be in the receiving energy all the time. Those are the ones that might tell you about your ass a little bit. Or a double water. A double water is just that's too much emotion to keep inside. It's like, nah, motherfucker, this is draining. All right, like a double Cancer or some shit. Yeah, double Cancer gonna tell you about your ass. But y'all be easy in y'all relationships. Y'all be easy in y'all relationships right now. LB said why the video cut off. I hope the video is Gucci and all that. All right. But Moon is in Scorpio, so the fixed signs need to be easy. My Tauruses, my Aquariuses, my Tauruses, Scorpio. Who's the other fixed sign? Who am I forgetting right now? Leos. Fixed signs be easy right now. That Moon and Scorpio energy might be pushing y'all to reveal something that's hidden a little bit with some pressure quicker than you may have wanted to, especially within relationship circumstances right now. Or you may be real intense trying to get something out of somebody else, but you may not be trying to do it directly though. So if there's something that you feel like you need awareness about, clarity about from others' fixed signs right now, the passive aggressiveness, the subliminal communication, all that's not really going to work right now. Embrace the retrogrades. There's some funk in your relationship. Understand the minute there's some funk in your relationship and you're so hesitant to bring it up, that alone is the issue. So you need to make sure you take care of that issue so you're not continuously doing that in your relationships. Every issue is you holding that bitch in, holding that bitch in, holding that bitch in. You feel me? You got to understand how to tackle that. Why do I feel so vulnerable to communicate some shit that's the issue in a relationship that I want to work or whatnot? You feel me? So embrace that shit right now. All right. Mercury is not retrograde for no reason. All right. So that's what we got going on. And Mars is forming a perfect trine to Saturn, guys. All right. Started early this morning. All right. So we got Mars in Gemini. Shout out to everybody with Mars and Gemini experience. They Mars Gemini return. Ever since Mars has been Gemini, people this is part of the reason, this placement is part of the reason why we may have been a little bit more direct in our relationships. Mars ain't got time to be sugarcoating shit in air. And that's why it gets that's why Mars that's why Mars gets into a lot of shit in air. That's why. Because Mars ain't got patience. They ain't got time to sugarcoat shit. You feel me? They most likely gonna be direct with their communication. You know, most likely gonna have an impulsive communicative nature. You know, that's just what it is. They may act on their ideas very quickly, you know, so they may be impulsive on the time it takes to take action on their thoughts. And but nonetheless, Mars in air, especially in Gemini, can create a lot of opportunities in the networking space, because air deals with communication and relationships. But just because you're an air sign don't mean your ass about to be all extroverted and shit. It don't work. It doesn't automatically work like that. It just means you, when it comes into, you know, how you push out energy in this lifetime, you would rather deal with logic and communication. But you can still have some introverted, shy, you know, be to yourself type influences being a sun in air. You can have Saturn conjunct that sun. You can have a water moon. You can have a motherfucking 8th house stellium. You can be a Scorpio moon. All right. Future is he's a Scorpio sun, Gemini moon. But he an air moon though. But y'all don't view him as hella communicative, hella talkative? Even in his interviews, he's really pretty to the point where his shit, he ain't gonna really babble on or anything. Anything we gonna hear from Future gonna be a simple ass tweet, like a simple ass caption on a certain picture with that may have shock value, or we gonna hear his music. That's it. So that water energy, certain elements can, you have, this is just understanding the relationship of how elements intertwine with each other for real. So but yeah, with Mars in Gemini, it's now trining Saturn in Aquarius, guys. So we know trines are the strongest alignments, and this creates a potential for us to build a lot of relationships that complement what the two parties are motivated about. So a lot of potential to create motivated partnerships, relationships at the moment. A lot of potential to connect with others who are passionate about the things you're passionate about. A lot of these things, these opportunities are going to be stemming out of the house you have Gemini and Aquarius in. You feel me? So you have Gemini in the 6th house. It might be within the workplace. You know, you have Aquarius in the 4th house. It might be with a loved one at the family home environment, some type of shape or form. You got Aquarius in the 1st house. It might be within an environment that has something to do with what you're personally into, something amongst your personal interests. But with Mars and Saturn alone, not only does it create these opportunities amongst relationships because they're in air, but with Mars hitting Saturn, period, we're passionate about getting motherfucking stable, period, out this motherfucker, period. This is a strong ass alignment for anybody that has Mars in a sextile, conjunction, or trine with Saturn. You know, you put business and passion together. You put discipline and intention together. That's powerful. You know, for an individual to be able to hone in on their passion in a stable and structured and constructive way. So this is what we have access to be able to do, you know, with more ease around this moment. So this is why some of y'all got up this morning with a little bit more pep in y'all step. By the time it got into the afternoon, your ass felt like, I'm finna do all the shit that I was supposed to do, that I wanted to do the whole week. I'm gonna get half of that shit done today. You feel me? Probably had a little bit more pep in your step. Probably felt a little bit more durable. All right. Usually take a little cat nap around 2 to 3, 3 to 4. You ain't feel like you need that cat nap today. All right. So only thing here is Saturn's retrograde in Aquarius. So Mars brings force to wherever it's at. So any decisions or anything that's up in the air, or you feel like you need clarity with amongst partnerships, group endeavors, business group endeavors right now, be careful not making any extreme decisions or reactions in that area. All right. But this potential, this energy does create potential to get things aligned with partnerships be able to get the reality understood between multiple parties with this energy. All right. So even if you're one, even if you're one that's usually reluctant to express how you truly feel within group endeavors, this energy supports you, being able to do that. All right, guys. So, and a lot of air signs will manifest situations in order to be examples of this energy. All right. Or lead and initiate a lot of situations where multiple parties or where multiple people can be in an environment where they share a certain passion. All right. Or a certain intention. So that's what we just got going on with the current energies, guys. Let's get right into today's presentation. All right, let's get into today's presentation, guys. Now, first of all, I want to say, how many of y'all seen the Netflix series with Jeffrey Dahmer? How many of y'all peeped the Netflix series already? You feel me? Because I literally just started watching it last evening. I was just laying down and I scrolled past it a couple of times these past couple of days. And the name is familiar. I just never knew who he was. So I just started watching the first 2 episodes. I'm like, wait, who is this nigga? And then I just started doing my research. You feel me? I just started looking at a couple things on Google, this, that, and the third. Then I go on Twitter. I type his name on. I'm like, oh, this nigga trending right now. So I don't know if some shit happened yesterday or something, because it seemed like it just started trending recently. I know this shit is on Netflix, but I think I've seen this shit on Netflix since like for the past 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So I assume it's trending because the shit is, more people is watching the series or whatnot. But yeah, how many of y'all watch it? Scars Owl said me. Finished it in 2 evenings. I'm not watching it. I've seen too many documentaries over the year. Okay. What's his chart? I'm about to pull it up. The first episode is hard to get through, but it was good. Thanks for the update. Okay, so I watched, like, it's literally pulled up on my TV right now. It's like 15 minutes into the 3rd episode, right? So let me go ahead and pull his energies up first. All right, guys. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. His chart, like, first glance, as first 10 seconds, I'm like, yeah, I got a live stream on this tomorrow, because it's multiple things on the first glance that shows so much potential to manifest certain circumstances that he's manifested in his life. Is he still alive? No, I doubt he's still alive. He probably died in jail, right? Okay, he died in 94. All right. So, all right, guys. So where do I start? So when we look at his big threes, so for everybody that doesn't really have for everybody that's in the chat or watching this on the replay that doesn't really have a backdrop or who Jeffrey Dahmer is, he's a serial killer. All right, a series just dropped with him on Netflix. There's been multiple documentaries about him. He's a famous serial killer, and I don't know if it's all, but I know he was gay, and some of his targets were gay, if not all of them. I don't know if all of them were, but so far from what I've seen in the series, I didn't do that much research to dive into that. But and yeah, so the series is breaking down so far his childhood and things that were documented around this guy. Now he is a Gemini sun, but he's a 0 degree Gemini sun. All right, so he's a Taurus Gemini. Libra rising, moon in Aries. Now, off rip, the fact that his sun and rising is in air, that's a huge component as to why he was able to accomplish a lot of what he accomplished, because it was a number of bodies, a number of, lives that he took before he was caught. And you got to have some relationship skills, some communication skills, some interaction skills to a certain degree to get people in the nature he was getting people. It's one thing to be doing things by force, but to lure people into your home, there has to be some type of interactive skills there. I don't care what you tell me. I don't care what you tell me. You feel me? And no, he was killed in jail. Okay. Died in jail. Okay. So when I see he's a Gemini sun, I'm like, all right, strategical. He's most likely able to adapt with his communication and relate to others, read things with communication in order to play mind games with certain individuals. But it's early, it's 0 degrees. So it's barely in the constellation. It's halfway getting there. All right. So the Taurus energy is where the earth element supports that cusp. All right. So when you got that sun in that air earth cusp, these are very smart individuals. That air earth cusp is these individuals very intelligent. We got logic and practicality mixed in a bowl. And then he has Mercury and Venus influencing his sun on that cusp. And what are the two planets that are in a conjunction with his sun? Mercury and Venus. So when it comes to that sun, his sun element period, it has a heavy stimulation of Mercury and Venus energy. And when we look at Mercury, we're dealing with thoughts, the intellect, and Venus, pleasures, right? Pleasures will make you feel good. So he's always going to deal with a heavy emphasis of trying to get the balance between thinking about his pleasures, all right? Thinking about things he likes. Mentally, when we talk about Venus overindulging into having the potential to make us overindulge into things we like, we love, pleasures, this, that, and the third. But with Mercury by Venus, his Mercury is not conjunct Venus. His Venus is 22 degrees Taurus. His Mercury is 6 degrees Gemini. But with it being in that space, hovering in the 8th house together with the sun in the middle, it could create scenarios where he's going to have a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that attract him in the same area. And with a lot of thoughts and feeling, that's going to lead to making decisions, actually taking action on them things, especially with the sun right there to do exactly what it does. Now, before I get too deep into the house placement and whatnot, just offer it by his sun sign, being on that cusp, just how he expresses himself and how he presents himself. Being a serial killer, that matters a lot. Your appearance, right? Being able to lure people in by how you communicate, present yourself. And I want y'all to peep this clip right here. I want y'all to peep this. This is the victim that made it away. Listen to this.
Like he was pulling knives and handcuffs and all on me,
What'd you do? What'd you say to him?
I asked him what the problem was, that it's not necessary to do this,
What'd he say?
He told me at that point if I wouldn't do what he said, he would kill me.
Now, tell us about his demeanor at the time that you look at him and you say, what's going on? You don't have to do this.
Pay attention.
What happens to Mr. Dahmer? What's he like?
It's like not the same person that we met at Grand Avenue Mall.
How is he different?
His face structure seemed different. His body structure, it's like it wasn't him anymore, It's like it was a totally different guy here.
So he told you if you didn't do what he told you to do, he'd hurt you.
He'll hurt me.
What'd you do? What happened? Tell us what happened step by step as best you can
And
remember.
then all of a sudden he kind of calms down, you know. And then he said he has a key in the bedroom, so we proceed to the bedroom.
The key to the handcuffs.
Right.
So you believed he was going to take them off?
Yeah. At that point, I had to go along with this guy, you know. And then if I had to find out, so I walked back there with him. He kind of guides me back there, you know.
Guides you back with the cuff and the knife?
Yeah.
And
Right.
you go into the bedroom.
Right.
What do you see in the bedroom?
A big, about 50, 60 gallon drum barrel, whatever.
So that's 1 point. And then listen to this one.
Dealing with here.
Yeah.
Him as a.
Abandon him. Things of this nature, you know. Yeah.
Well, what did you think about him as a person? What impression was made on your mind of this fellow that you're dealing with here?
Yeah. That at times he wasn't himself, and then at times he was like a nice guy, you know. He would come and go different times, you know, throughout the whole time. Then he would like sit, being quiet at times, watching the movie, wanting me to watch the movie, you know, and just doing little tanning sounds, you know.
Did you observe him watching the movie and how he would react to the movie?
Right. He would like just start rocking back and forth when he, you know, certain parts of the movie or whatever.
And you have to say, what did he say, man?
He was like chanting at certain times and rocking back and forth. Right.
Tell us about his chanting. What was that all about?
I'm not even sure, sir, but it was just like, I can't tell you the words. I can understand what he
Of course, the air sign could be chanting some shit.
was saying at that time.
Can you mimic him? How it sounded?
It was like a slow slur, like some of that nature, some close like that. I'm not sure.
Did it keep on for a period of time?
Off and on throughout the ordeal.
And how about the movement back and forth? How was that being effectuated?
Just like back and forth, he would do it every now and then. You know?
Just as you are rocking in your
Right,
chair.
like this.
Okay. All right. So the reason I brought them 2 points up is because in both of those clips, he stated how this guy wasn't who he perceived him to be. All right. Earlier during his testimonial, he says that he's seen Jeff a number of times before the incident actually occurred. You know, he would say hi, you know, not no real significant conversation. And when I think about that, his sun is in Gemini, isn't that Gemini Taurus cusp, but it's in the 8th house, guys. It's in the 8th house. One thing about 8th house sun individuals, they place effort into being hidden. They place effort into trying to be hidden, being secretive. And they're naturally going to correlate to being in solitude. All right. A moon in 8th house person naturally could be secretive. The sun has to place a bit more effort here. And because the sun deals with appearance, he's going to appear to seem like he's trying to be secretive. And when you got the sun in the 8th house, that's the aura you give off at times as a sun in Scorpio, sun in the 8th house. You feel me? Sometimes it could come off to others like you're trying to keep things away. You're trying to be secretive. And that's just your appearance with the sun in the 8th house. You feel me? Moon in the 8th house, we know that's naturally you, but we don't know nothing about you. It don't look like you trying to be secretive. We just know that's how you move. You're not putting the intention on trying to be secretive. But I say all of that to say, when we go back and look at his sun in Gemini, it's trining his ascendant. All right. He got the sun in Libra, and then he got the sun. He got the sun in Gemini and his ascendant in Libra. So it's not a direct trine, but his sun is in air, and his first house is in air. So what does that do here? As a Libra rising, you have a sense there's going to be an extra influence of charm in your personality. You can most likely, even if you are a whole demon as a Libra rising, Libra rising, Taurus rising, Venus in the first house. You could be a whole fucking demon. If you have any of those placements in the first house, motherfuckers will think you're an angel. They'll think you're sent from heaven. Don't see no wrong. Some of those sun signs go through that. Libra suns, Taurus suns, Venus conjunct the suns. Could be whole demons. You'll never know. You're like, who? Dumb? They killed 10 people? Hell no. They so sweet. They mad cool every time I see them. Every time I used to come to crazy, ask me if I want something to eat and shit, ask me if I want something to drink. You feel me? I used to dap them up and shit. I used to play games. It's that Venus energy being by a placement that deals with your appearance will psych people up. The first house deals with appearance. Your sun deals with appearance. So not only is he a Libra rising, the actual chart ruler Venus is by his sun. What degree is it? So it's okay. It looked like it was conjunct for a second. So his Venus is in Taurus, still in that 8th house. So let's talk about that too. As a Libra rising, psyching people up with that charm in the first house. All right, psyching people up with that charm in the first house. When we look at the chart ruler, which we know is very important, because yes, it's the ruler over the first house, but it's the chart ruler. So whenever that planet is kind of imbalanced, it's potential for imbalances all over the chart. And his Venus is in the 8th house. Now, this placement is very significant. Him being a Libra rising and having Venus in the 8th house, this is highly significant behind a lot of this shit that he experienced in his life and he's went through. That whole 8th house stellium period. That whole 8th house stellium period, but Venus is a big part of that. The sun is one thing, Mercury is another thing. Venus is a big part of it. All right, because the sun is somewhat in a false state, but it's really in a neutral space in the 8th house. Mercury is pretty much in a neutral space in the 8th house. Venus is not. Venus is in a debilitated state in the 8th house. That's the house where Venus struggles. And why does Venus struggle in the 8th house? Because the 8th house deals with secrecy, what's hidden, rebirths, deaths, transformation, is dark, is demons up in this motherfucker, our shadows, our deep desires. This house is too intense for Venus, an energy that deals with our love language, that likes to give, relate, cooperate, compromise, is gentle. You put it around that intensity, now you have somebody that not only is going to have trouble connecting when it comes with their love language because their emotions and feelings are too heavy, they're too deep sometimes, and they feel too much vulnerability around connecting when it comes to something they like or they love. It's too much of vulnerability. And when they do, sometimes it's 8th house energies, Mars, Pluto energy. When they do, it might be a little too extreme. And now that could create traumatic experiences. Maybe they were too extreme, too aggressive trying to connect or relate. And now it creates a nervous energy when they try to do it in the future. All right. So, and I have Venus in the 8th. So I'm speaking from, I know this energy from experience. And so that's one issue with Venus in the 8th. It's hard to connect. It's vulnerable to connect. All right. Scorpio placements relate to this. Scorpio suns, Scorpio moons, they relate. Venus and Scorpio, they relate to that energy, dealing with that vulnerability of connecting emotions. And when you do relate how you feel so vulnerable, feel like you could be taken advantage of, because you probably dealt with situations where people, places, and things that you liked or you loved or you valued were manipulated. You were in power and control situations with them. They changed. They transformed a lot. So sometimes you may feel like when you start connecting, liking a person, place, or thing, sooner or later it's going to change. So that could start affecting how you even deal with something a person that you like. You might not even place your effort towards it might be different, to the point this might have the potential to be a beautiful situation, but with a Venus in the 8th, Venus in Scorpio, some shit, enough bad experiences can have you like, fuck it, I don't even care about placing effort into this good potential shit, to the point one little situation happened, you ready to drop the whole shit. You want to work through shit, you want to compromise through shit, you want to cooperate through some shit. You like, let it just change, let it just transform. I'm used to it changing and transforming. All right. So this is what he goes through in his personal life. So for those of y'all who've seen the series, like I said, I just started the 3rd episode. One thing that I see in the first episode, when with the victim that got away, and in the second episode with the victim that he almost got caught with but brought back into the house, both of these individuals, when they were first trying to escape and leave, when they were first frightened and realized that this nigga was on some bugged out shit, he said, why does everybody try to leave me? Why does everybody always want to leave? Being a Libra rising with Venus in the is one thing. Being a Libra rising, you know, Libra in the first house, your personality is naturally to relate and connect. That's what makes you feel fulfilled in your personal life, having healthy relationships, being able to have certain individuals you can relate your personal interest to. Libra rising want to do things with people. Libra rising don't like feeling isolated. So if you know a Libra sun, Libra rising that's really isolated, they may be going through some type of transformation in their lives. You feel me? Or they may felt like they're in situations where they may have been placed so much effort to try to connect with individuals, and then you know, that shit is not reciprocated in some type of shape or form. So it's one thing just being a Libra rising and having a chart being opposite in that sense, right? You know, so Libra risings go through them situations where they got to learn to fall back because they may feel like, you know, the way that they want a potential for a friendship, connection, relationship to grow is not reciprocated, and they get into a real opposite individual energy. But the house lord on top of that is debilitated, is in the 8th house. So he go through a lot of transformations in the personal life. A lot of things that he may have liked, loved, connected to, it may have had some type of shadow thrown upon it. Something was always about to happen to it, transform, a power and control issue with it. All right. Now, another thing, Venus in the 8th house. Venus deals with your love language and what you like, what you love. It deals with intimacy. It deals with your sexual influences, right? The 8th house deals with your desires, and it's a dark house. So when Venus is in here, there can be some confusion with this individual's sexual identity. Venus in the 8th house can bring that here. You know, you can have somebody confused with their sexual identity. And a lot of the times this can stem from being abused, sexually abused early, you know, in some type of shape or form in life, or being exposed to inappropriate things in your adolescent stages with Venus in the 8th house. You know, Venus in the 8th house it's very common for Venus in the 8th house individuals to be in environments where they were participating in things that were inappropriate, but they had no idea about it. You feel me? Whether somebody older was motherfucking touching them inappropriately, you know, whatever it may be, whether they were doing things, you know, with the same sex and they thought it was normal, and then they got made fun of it in some type of way, and it was real traumatic, like all type of crazy shit with Venus in the 8th house. All right. So not only does it can bring confusion with somebody's sexual identity, also with Venus here, 8th house, once again, demons, dark, rules the occult, right? Intense energies, transformative energies. Venus in the 8th house can have all type of crazy fetishes when it comes to, you know, the potential to develop a lot of crazy fetishes and whatnot when it comes to sexual activity here. You feel me? It ain't no fucking surprise to deal with a Venus and 8th house person or Venus and Scorpio person, and they probably into some 50 Shades of Grey shit. They into some type of bondage. They into some type of aggressive power and control type, so power and control influence type activity. You know, within sex. You know, it could be all different type of crazy fetishes developed here with Venus in the 8th house. Because sometimes Venus can't see here, she don't know what she liking. She don't really know what is it that's making her feel good when, like, she feel it, but she can't see it in the 8th house, you know? So it creates all type of confusion and misunderstandings here. So that being a Libra rising with Venus in the 8th house, okay, boom. I'm like, all right. So I get that part I get that aspect from intimacy and some of his relationship issues as well. But the fact that he also has Mercury, the sun, and Lilith in there, that intensifies a whole lot. All right. That intensifies a whole lot because, you know, the sun, the 8th house deals with death. The 8th house deals with death. And in many circumstances, it could be death, you know, actually losing somebody, experiencing death with people. It could be in situations where you're exposed to it. It could be in situations where you're in environments. People with heavy 8th house placements can manifest situation. K. Brooks just said dark fetishes. It could be situations where you're naturally in environments dealing with death, like whether you work in a graveyard, you're a mortician, something revolving around death. You know, when you got a lot of planets in the 8th house, you could be somebody that's actually becomes comfortable. You have tougher skin dealing with these things, right? So that's that. But as you guys could see in the series, when he was messing around with the insects, right? When he was messing around with the insects, dissecting the frogs, and they showed him early, fucking around with the tadpoles. He put the motor oil in the bottle with the tadpoles when he was real young, and motherfucker suffocated their ass and shit. The 8th house deals with death. So with him having the sun, which deals with what he's paying attention to, Mercury, which is the curiosity, all right, and then Venus, which is what you like, what you love, this all creates the fascination for 8th house shit. This all creates the fascination of death. So all of that, him harvesting bodies, that's that Venus in the 8th house stellium. That's the fascination he has with it. That's the deep curiosity he has with it, to get surgical with this shit. It started from young. As soon as he got exposed to anything dealing with motherfucking with death, with the frogs and all of that shit, with his pop showing him how to do all of that, that only intensifies more of his desire to feed his curiosity, to dive deeper into things with death and whatnot. So that's why he's gonna kill people and harvest bodies. Also, when you look at the 2nd and the 8th house axis, it deals with possessions. The 2nd house, this is more so your possessions, what you value. The 8th house is more so inheritance, possessions of others, right? Shared values. Like I always tell y'all, when we look at the houses from the 7th to the 12th house, we're more so dealing with the external realm, relationships, right? So the 8th house axis would be resources, possessions of others. In the 8th house, we also dealing with possessions related to death. Inheritance would be a possession related to death, right? Real estate, money, that's a possession somebody left to you when they transitioned. But harvesting body pieces, harvesting anything dealing with something that's transformed already, yes, that's huge 8th house shit. And with Venus in there, he finds fascination with that shit. You feel me? And his Venus is in Taurus. So Venus and Taurus will go through extreme measures to receive or get their hands on whatever type of material or what type of possessions that make them feel fulfilled, make them feel comfortable. And the thing about Venus and Taurus, it's a strong manifesting placement. So with his Venus in that 8th house in Taurus, with that type of curiosity and what he was exposed to, that shows a whole lot of why he started, going down the path that he did. We have the relationship issues that cause the insecurities, all right? Then we have him actually being exposed to things that could give him the power to dive deep, get hands-on, dealing with dissecting shit. So he has the deep curiosity. And on top of that, the sun and Mercury, what is it in? The sun and Mercury is in is in Gemini. So it's one thing to have Mercury up in there, but you actually have Mercury in its home sign, Gemini. Mercury is overly stimulated in Gemini. Remember, guys, Gemini ain't got no exaltation. That Gemini Sagittarius axis don't have no exaltation. This is why Geminis are extreme with their Mercury energy and why Sagittariuses are extreme with their Jupiter energy. There's really no exaltation there. So Jupiter be feeling like it's at its shit at a top peak in Sagittarius at times too. It may feel like it give a little exaltation vibes in Sagittarius for Jupiter too, and Mercury kind of get that vibe a bit in Gemini. So it's extreme thoughts, curiosity when it comes to 8th house shit. This is perverted thoughts, potential for a whole bunch of perverted ass thoughts. Mercury in Gemini, dealing with relationships, other individuals, people relating, and then you got it in the 8th house. Then we got Venus that brings the dark fetishes, potential for all type of confusion with the sexual identity, right? And then, as y'all could see, you see in the series when his father was asking him like, "How's girls?" I bet you and your friends at school, you guys just can't stop talking about girls, huh? You see how hard it is? He couldn't even fake it. Like he couldn't even be like, "Yeah, we be talking about girls." He can't even get the Venus, the Sun, Mercury, Venus. That he can't even get it out the 8th house. He can't even say some bullshit to lie about it. It's too intense. It's too vulnerable. When you have that many planets active in one house, you always have the potential to create you know, I don't want to say, but just having 3 planets in the house, that's already going to be a house with a lot of activity by default, you know. But within the 8th house, planets in the 8th house are energies that you can hold deeply. All right. So when you have multiple planets there, you have to be conscious of how you release energy out your 8th house. You have to be conscious of what desires and heavy emotions these planets are being attached to heavy in this 8th house, you know. So yeah, that 8th house is a huge thing there, dealing with his motherfucking relationship with his sexual fetishes, harvesting body pieces, his curiosity for the shit. All right. Now, when we move into his moon in Aries, the moon in Aries can be combative. It can be self-destructive. All right. It could be self-destructive. And then what house he has it in the 7th house of relationships. So he's a Libra rising. Get this, he's a Libra rising. So the personality is charming, relatable. It could give you that allure. But the moon, the true emotion, the true intention, who he truly is, it's more so it's single-minded, it's individual. You feel me? He's really dealing with his own self-intention. His personality gives you that allure that he's more of a relationship guy. He has relationship attributes. He has air attributes. Don't mean he's so much of a harmonious relationship individual. He may have been as a child, but being exposed to all the trauma and transformations with all them planets in the 8th house. Matter of fact, before I even move on from that 8th house energy, having all those planets in the 8th house, when you have so many planets in the 8th house, that brings a lot of activity to the 8th house. So it's going to be a lot of potential for changes and transformation in your life and some type of trauma. You're going to be exposed to some type of trauma in your life. Now, it's a tricky road dealing with 8th house placements. The 8th house is one of the most trickiest houses because with you having this much activity in this house, it can do one of two things. It can create a situation where you experience trauma, emotional transformations to the point not only do you transform from it in a positive way, right? Develop yourself, analyze the shadow, emotionally, mentally grow from these things and be an example to others and be able to help counsel others based off of your experience with the subconscious. Or, it could turn you into we got narcissist, manipulator, con artist, the best of the best manipulators, con artists, scammers is living in that 8th house. The best of the best. All right. I'm talking about Olympic level criminals. We talking 8th house energies because they know how to be hidden. They know how to not be seen by default. All right. So, just having those 3 planets up in that 8th house, he was definitely exposed to a lot of trauma. And you could see in his family, his mother, I think I missed the part when they show exactly what she's diagnosed with, but it seems like she's schizophrenic. They showed a part when she was on a bunch of medication when he was in the womb, so he's already dealing with a lot of things that's affecting mental activity, by default, coming into this realm. Mercury, Sun, and Gemini in the 8th house. He's already dealing with deep stimulation on his goddamn mental bodies coming into this motherfucker, So you got to understand, motherfuckers like this they're developed. Motherfuckers like this ain't born. They developed. He had potential in his chart to be someone that could be able to deeply understand and heal people. Is the shift of energies he fell on. There's somebody that was born the same day as him that has similar energies as him, that's just a couple of degrees off. That's a powerful healer that can transform a lot of emotion, that can endure a lot of 8th house shit, So it comes down to a lot of times what shift of your placements at times you fall on his environment. All right. So the 8th house being exposed to a bunch of trauma, there's going to be something, especially Lilith in that 8th house. All right. He couldn't even get off to women. He tried masturbating with that scene too. He was trying to masturbate to women. He was like, you feel me? confusion. Venus in 8th house, he having confusion, you know, with what he feel like he's supposed to like or love, what he's comfortable with, and you know, whatever his sexual preference. Now, Lilith in the 8th house is another intense ass placement, you know. So he has placements by himself. Is like, okay, you know, Venus in the 8th house, goddamn. First house Lord in the 8th house as a Libra rising and as Venus, okay, goddamn. Then Libra rising, personality, Aries moon in the 7th house, opposite. So shit, yo ass, you create so much misunderstandings in your relationships by default at times. You don't even realize it how you do it at times. You don't even realize how your energy is so welcoming and inviting. And then when you shift into something that you want within the circumstance, how it comes off extreme to others. You don't realize that at times with that type of alignment. You know? People with that type of alignment, like people with like Libra and Aries, or like Libra, Scorpio, or within like the big three, they go through that situation, through those type of situations at times, and where they don't understand, where it might be a little confusing if they're being extreme or not. And this is why they could really value their relationships, because you know they'll just feel like people, through all the transformative relationships in their life, this person is down for the long haul. This person, you know, is real loyal. This person accepts me, this, that, and the third. You know, so you got that going on there. And yeah, like I was saying, Lilith. So Lilith is already an intense placement on his in the 8th house on his own. Okay, Lilith already correlates. I like to look at Lilith like a feminine Pluto. All right, so it already correlates to energy. The house it's in is going to develop situations that we have to learn how to persevere through. You know, it's going to teach us how to build some goddamn endurance emotionally, mentally. You know, it has the potential to create deep, dark situations. It ain't really a potential. It's going to happen. Whatever house you have Lilith in, it's going to happen, and you go through some circumstances there. All right. And the 8th house already deals with, you know, intensity and a lot of depth of the emotion and the subconscious. So when you have Lilith here, you know, some people with a lot of tough 8th house placements or whatnot may be exposed to things later in their adolescent stages. You know, might take a little time to develop a little bit. Lilith in the 8th house, that shit is out the gate. Lilith in the 8th house. You 5, 6, you already seeing some bullshit in the household. You already seeing some type of something that's traumatizing your ass. Parents on some shit. Your environment is on some shit. Lilith in the 8th house puts you in that placement alone can indicate somebody dealing with heavy karma in this lifetime. You know, Lilith in that 8th. And it has a huge potential to really transform an individual for the better, but it can develop some deep circumstances in that sense. So, you know, his 8th house is very intense. All right. Now, what did I want to hover on? Because it's really a lot. Okay. Another thing. Whenever we look at psychological issues, mental issues, in somebody's chart, any type of mental issues, you want to look at Mercury aspects. So you want to see any squares, oppositions to Mercury. You want to see some Neptune. You want to look at the Neptune placement, see what type of state Neptune is in. All right. You want to look at 12th house placements, the 8th house to an extent as well. All right. Now, when you look at his 12th house starts in as far as analyzing psychological issues, things dealing with the subconscious, because the 12th house deals with loss, you know, it deals with solitude, it deals with you know, insecurity. Is the subconscious house is all in with your shadow, you know. So when we got the 12th house starting in Virgo, the house lord is Mercury in the 8th house. So that alone can show an individual dealing with a lot of loss, with things that they may have had potential to want to connect to. All right. So this, in some type of shape or form, things always lead back to his 8th house here, which is heavy. Now, another thing is he has Venus sextiling the midheaven. All right, he has Venus in his 8th house hitting the midheaven. So what does that show? A lot of his fetishes, a lot of his Venus circumstances, whether positive or negative, they have access to developing a reputation, potential to be popular. All right, so these are energies he was experiencing in high school. His type of, maybe his sexual orientation in some type of shape or form being something that's associated with his reputation. And you just look at his life now. He's popular, and a huge part of his story, not only being a serial killer, is dealing with his sexual orientation. All right. So it actually, that 10th house grabbed that energy and attached it to his social status. Let me see what y'all saying. Especially, he couldn't even, go to the phone and see the conditions. Why? Okay, especially if he was raised and she had postpartum. She has postpartum as one of her issues. Now, see, Sierra Waters just told me to go hit the 4th house, and I had looked at this area a little bit before, and one thing that's important that I picked, that I've seen with the 4th house, Libra risings, you're gonna have that Capricorn in the 4th house, right? So we got Capricorn starting in the 4th house, but he also has a Aquarius here too, both for the Saturn ruled signs. All right, so Capricorn in the 4th house for Aquarius a lot of times create situations where there's a lack of stability in the home environment. They have to embrace more responsibility in the home environment. It could be a broken home with Capricorn in the 4th house. It could be a detached home with Capricorn in the 4th house. But when we look at the house lord, Saturn is in the 3rd house. All right. Now, Saturn in the 3rd house is another big placement, that you got to look at when you look at his chart. Saturn and Jupiter in the 3rd house, because, like I said, a serial killer is developed. They not born. That is developed. So when you look at his 3rd house, local environment, right? Huge emphasis on your child adolescent stages, local environment, your neighbors, your close friends, your early experiences dealing with relationships and communicating with individuals. He got Saturn there. So Saturn brings that sense of restriction. There's going to be restriction dealing with communicating and relationships in some type of shape or form. Even if you're a communicative, relatable individual. So maybe you personally don't have issues dealing with communication. With Saturn in the 3rd house, there may be situations placed in there that bring restriction. You have a parent or something that's real strict, and you don't get a chance to interact or whatnot. You're sheltered in some type of shape or form. It's going to be some type of situation. A lot of times, Saturn in the 3rd, 4th can have strict parents, strict households, or overly bearing strict households. But that Saturn in the 3rd house can create a detached energy when it comes into your local environment. So now you got this kid that has motherfucking Lilith, all this potential for these dark energies brewing in the 8th house, whether it's mentally or within his fetishes, his relationships, right? There's deep curiosity with Gemini, Mercury, the sun in Gemini, especially early stages Gemini, 0 degrees. So it's a baby Gemini. It's a Gemini don't even know the stove is hot yet. This is the lifetime to learn the stove is hot, aka, the curiosity is impulsive with it. It's so hungry with it. It's so interested. So this type of Gemini, early degree Geminis, you feel me? Their nature to learn dives deep. Whatever house that sun is falling, 0 degrees Gemini, yeah, they're gonna be professors in that house because they're a baby gem and they're ready to come out in the world, experience, learn, read things, exchange thoughts of other minds, try to understand what people think about it, conversation, interacting. But he got it in the 8th house, so all that interaction is with death. All that interaction is with people. It's not people. It's other dark shit. You seen the first episode when the first victim came into his crib. You seen what he had on the TV, all type of satanic exorcist type shit. That's where his mind gravitates towards. You feel me? So it's one thing with them placements being exposed to them things, but then when you have those type of mercurial influences in the 8th house, the curiosity is what continues to make you keep walking that path, wanting to learn more, get a little bit hands-on, experience a little bit more. You feel me? Then Venus start feeling good from it. You feel me? Now we got a whole some whole other shit in motion going on. You feel me? So, but when we look at that third house, Saturn in the third house, like you could see it. I just started the third episode, and it's like there's so many examples of his energies in these early episodes. So they show his ability, his lack of an ability to connect and interact with others when he was a kid, when he was in high school. You feel me? Then they show at the end of high school when he was a senior, his mom left the crib, took his younger sibling away from the crib. So this is him dealing with some more Saturn, more restriction, energies being taken away in the third house, or things being snatched away in the third house in some type of shape or form. Him dealing with some karma in the third house. All right. And then as a Libra rising, what is your third house going to start in? Sagittarius. All right. And he has Jupiter in there. It's not in Sagittarius, it's in 2 degrees Capricorn. It's cusping Sagittarius. But Sagittarius, like, these are 2 placements that create distance in the third house. Jupiter, Sagittarius influences, and Saturn. Saturn creates the restriction, the resistance, and Jupiter creates the distance. Because Sagittarius is long distance, right? It's long distance. It's abroad. It's distant. So you put it in the third house that's dealing with local energies in some type of shape or form. This individual may be distant, and it may be things based off beliefs, maybe studying abroad, maybe things dealing with educational pursuits, maybe in boarding school, you know. And in this case, it was a mixture of his local environment, family situation. You know, third house is going to deal with distant relatives, siblings, and whatnot. So it was that third house activity is very important for him. All right. Then when we go back to the first house, hover over back in his first house for real. Hold on, let me make sure y'all can see this. When we hover back to his first house, he's a Libra rising, but he got Neptune and Scorpio in that first house. All right. So that's a dark Libra rising personality. Now, Neptune, when we look at Neptune, once again, this is another placement that you got to look at when you're dealing with looking for psychological issues in the chart as well, right? Because Neptune deals with the psyche, all right? It deals with the subconscious, also deals with our imagination, okay? Fantasies. And he has Neptune and Scorpio, which already brings the potential for, you know, dark dreams, transformative situations in the subconscious. That energy could bring extreme spiritual experiences, especially at a young age that you may not understand. It could bring experiences. Neptune kind of got an influence to bring experiences. So with it in Scorpio, this person is going to experience a lot of Scorpio things in their personal life, all right, by default. But when it comes into their imagination, they're going to have a dark imagination, though. They're going to have a dark imagination, all right? So personally, like I said, that ascendant going to start in Libra. You may pick up the charm from the guy. Guy may seem like, you know, he's a real cool dude, whatever. But we got a Neptune and Scorpio in that first house as well. So you don't know what type of, dark fantasies or whatnot might be of this person's personal interests, all right? And the funny thing about it is Neptune in the first house really gives, even though he got it in Scorpio, Neptune in the first house gives a real warm energy. When you got Neptune in the first house, because Neptune is a real optimistic energy. You know, it's like one of your grandparents that you love that's mad nurturing. Like Neptune has a nurturing, peaceful, soothing type of vibe. So when people have Neptune in the first house, you pick up on that in their personality. They seem like people's persons or whatever. They seem real understanding. But he got that shit in Scorpio. So that has a lot to do with why his appearance is a little funny. If it was Neptune in another sign, it's a little different. He got it in Scorpio, so it's radiating a little bit of hidden energy, but we see it. If he didn't have a planet in Scorpio in the first house, the ascendant landing on Libra is really what is gonna radiate a lot with his personality, even though he got Venus in the first house. So those within his first house, he has two major aspects affecting him having more of a darker appearance or whatnot, or maybe a little what's the word? I don't want to say weird or awkward. What's the word for, like, you know, like it's funny because something feels hidden with his personality. You know, once again, you got that first house store in the 8th house, man. It's always gonna seem like you're trying to be on some hidden shit, and as you just be chilling for real. But those two, and then like Sierra said, Neptune is also smoke and mirrors, illusions. So who's telling all that curiosity in the 8th house, what he's paying attention to and being exposed to, on top of Neptune and Scorpio in the first house, you know, all the fantasies or, you know, dark things he wants to experience or may seem as a, you know, a pleasurable experience in his head as a personal interest. Who's telling, you know, how much every time he experienced these things, he had that serial killer rush. He was like, oh shit. Look, he a Gemini. Listen, he a Gemini sun. Look, he a Gemini motherfucking sun, Mercury, and Gemini in the 8th house. Them niggas could do shit and not get caught. A sun in Gemini, Mercury, and Gemini is a pretty smart person, you know, usually. And in the 8th house, you know, if this person has some type of control over their communication, in which in the 8th house is usually not going to make for a real loose communicator, it's going to be hard to grasp this person's intentions. All right. And speaking about that, what placement I wanted to bring up? His Mercury sextiles Mars. So his Mercury sextile Mars. So talk about criminal mind. His Mercury already in the 8th house in Gemini. So he's already going to have a bunch of ideas on how to do dark shit. You feel me? From his youth, he was already picking up fundamentals, dealing with drills and dissecting frogs and shit and animals and shit. So he was already exposed. His consciousness, he's a sun in the 8th house. He's going to be exposed to that shit by default. Then he got Mercury there, so the niggas start getting hands-on with the shit. But he got Mars in Aries, Sextile, and Mercury. These is criminal-minded individuals. This is not to say if you have Mercury and Mars, you're a criminal. But I'm saying if you have Mercury and Mars and you got into criminal activity, you would most likely naturally be more inclined to be more strategic about how to do crime, especially with Mercury in the 8th house. You'll develop all type of strategy. Mars rules your intentions. You feel me? So you're going to be developing all type of strategies in order to connect to the things you intend to do. And Mars in Aries at times, once again, ain't no patience. It's selfish. Is dealing with his desires too. The 8th house is dealing with his desires. So he was a pretty smart intellectual person towards being able to obtain these things and not, or at least not get caught for that long. You know, like I said, there's one thing being a murderer, but a serial killer, it takes some intelligence to be a serial killer. It takes some intelligence to be a hitman, to kill multiple people like that. You feel me? So, yeah, it's a big ball mix of his fascination with death, including energies that the problem he had is with an alignment like that, Mercury sextile Mars, Mars in Aries. Mars is home in Aries, so this person is already feeling like, who's gonna stop me? I really don't give a fuck. You know, if I'm gonna do what I want to do, you know, I'll deal with whatever consequences when they come. That's how Mars is. I'll deal with whatever consequences when they come. But as of right now, I'm finna do what I want to do. It's Mars and Aries. So your Mars is gonna feel comfortable to fulfill personal passions. But then because it's hitting the Mercury in the 8th house, his issue with this alignment is this is a powerful alignment. Mars sextile Mercury. This is somebody who knows how to strategize amongst what they're passionate about. They know how to be rational amongst their anger and their frustration, you know. At the same time, this gives you the gift, basically the gift to be able to strategize on how to do dark shit with that alignment, with it hitting the 8th house. So we already showed that he's he's a Libra sun. I mean, he's a Gemini sun. So his sun is in air and he's a Libra ascendant. So his personality as a Libra rising, the personal charm, relatable skills, the communicative skills, the appearance in the first house, that gives him access to be able to lure people, lure things into his 8th house. He uses Libra personality. All right. I'd use all of that direct access to reel into what my son really has thoughts about doing into the 8th house. All right, got Mercury and Gemini, so I know how to read the wave, in conversation. So when I'm trying to get somebody into the crib, you feel me? When I'm trying to get somebody to come back over, and they picking up on some vibes, that is some funny shit. Like I know Libra personality, nice little Venus in the 8th house charm. Like, nah, it's okay. Everything gonna be cool. Little Gemini sun, know what words to play around, know how to fuck around with your head, mind games. In the style that he was doing these things, like I said, that you're gonna have to have some interactive skills, some communicative skills, and be able to play some type of mind games and deal with manipulation in some type of motherfucking shape or form. Ain't nothing saying like having the potential to manipulate like motherfucking Mercury in the 8th house in Gemini. I'm sorry. Shout out to everybody with that placement. It don't mean you a demon. It just means you got the potential to be one and do the job very well. I hope that don't encourage y'all to get on some bullshit out this motherfucker. You motherfuckers come from me trying to get some body parts. I let you know the shit gonna go a whole different way. I let you know that right motherfucking now. Motherfucker try to invite me to the crib. Motherfucker try any of that funny shit. The documentary is not going to be that long. It's a different episode over here. Got guns over here. But with all that being said, yeah, he has so many energies that could support luring people into that 8th house, luring people into the dark. And then once you get into the crib, then all that sun and 8, now you really see all that shit. Then you really gonna see all that shit. You feel me? Then you really gonna see all that shit. Now, but yeah, that Mars Mercury sextile is dangerous though. It's dangerous though. A lot of that potential to him to strategize on, bringing his desires, manipulating and whatnot. That's the same potential could be used in order to manipulate energies for his passions. That's the same energy he could have to create strategize intentions around things he's passionate about and aspirations. It's the same energy. If I didn't know this person and I'm reading the chart, the way I'm looking at it is they're going to be on a positive or negative side of that energy, but I know they're going to have the potential for that. I know if this person going to deal with a lot of trauma, some deep trauma, hopefully that doesn't, turn them into something negative, and they could use that to, transmute energy, shed skin. But it's not so easy to do that with 3 planets in the 8th house and Lilith in there. Lilith, once again, like I said, Lilith in the 8th house already showing a lot of karma this person's dealing with in this lifetime. All right. Then the 1st house Lord in the 8th house, 12th house Lord in the 8th house. Then we got Mars, which he's a moon in Aries, right? So his personal passions is what brings fulfillment in life. Period. Don't get psyched up by the relationship, sun, air sign. Don't get psyched up by the Libra rising. His moon sign, deep down in his heart, his personal passion, his personal intentions for things, what he personally wants is what brings him fulfillment. You feel me? And he will use others to do that because his moon is in the 7th house in Aries. All right. But with all of that, with the Mars in Aries, it just intensifies a moon in Aries person. It can make them extra selfish. At the same time, this person is going to be an extra passionate individual too. They're going to be an extra motivated individual too, having Mars and the moon in the 8th house. But sometimes, that could be too much passion for their goddamn self. It could be overwhelming for their goddamn self. And they may take it out with that energy. Is Mars in the 7th house? No, Mars is in the 6th house. The moon is in the 7th house. So yeah, he going to take that frustration out a lot in areas where, when he's trying to build or structure things and he's dealing with frustration, he could start taking that out on people in relationships or whatnot. And the Mars with the sextile to Mercury in the 8th, once again with the 8th house dealing with death and possessions, and Mars harmonizing with Mercury creating a criminal mind It's really the gift. It's really the gift of being able to have a mind that supports intentions, that's able to analyze frustrations and anger. Somebody that's has a lot of directs a lot of willpower towards their ideas, towards their creativity. So it's a powerful ass alignment. It's just that shit got spooky. The fact that the Mercury fall in the 8th house, so a lot of the things his Mars is passionate about, he could find ways to do that shit without not being seen for it. And the more you get away with it, the more you get away with it. So that was very important there. That Mars Mercury sextile. That Neptune Scorpio personality. It's funny he got Uranus in the 10th house. Uranus, we know it deals with unpredictability, being different, uniqueness, but something gonna be different, something gonna be black sheepish wherever Uranus is at. And with Mercury in that 10th house, he has a social status for that. He has a social for being a homosexual serial killer that harvests bodies. I don't think nothing gets more unique for being known for that shit. I don't think there's nothing that's pretty unique. It's some pretty different shit. And on top of that, Uranus in the 10th house, you could already have you could develop a reputation for being a real different person as far as in your work field, or a natural reputation, which may be based off of your appearance, something that you're creatively invested into in some type of shape or form. But when you have Uranus in the 10th house, when it comes to these people, career pursuits, their reputations, there's usually something unique about it, usually something different, whether it comes off very opposing to people and makes them uncomfortable, or it's something that's really influential that's different. In some type of shape or form is going to be different. All right. Now, his Venus square Uranus. Once again, Uranus, change, unpredictability. Anything that you have now, Uranus is another planet that also shows strong karma when you have squares to it. So Sun square Uranus, the ancients looked at that as a alignment where this lifetime you really got some spiritual development to deal with. You may have had spiritual awareness in a past life and you didn't apply it. So this is the lifetime to apply more spiritual properties or whatnot, or things that you're experienced with. So the Sun square Uranus can indicate these things, but he has Venus square Uranus. Anything overall square Uranus is something that you got to learn how to endure it changing. You got to learn how to endure it being unstable at times. You got to embrace being individual with it. So somebody with Venus square Uranus, this is somebody that has issues with their sexual identity, and they need to learn how to wear that shit as an individual. If you fucking gay, you fucking gay. Wear that shit. Be you. It is what it is. You're only going to keep going through more transformations and more chaotic situations internally, not owning up to your own individual unique identity amongst your love language, what you like, what you value. So that can show a strong karmic energy he had to deal with there. All right. Now, you have some astrologers out there that look at certain placements that bring influences for somebody to, be into the same sex or whatnot. I personally do believe there's placements that influence that. I think it's a mixture of that and the frequency vibration you were in based off of the past life too. All right. But that kind of goes deep, when we talk about that on a spiritual level. All right. But if you're talking about placements, Libra rising is one of them. Venus in the 8th house is one of them. Moon in see, I don't want to just start saying his placement because it's going to start like I'm just saying all his placements. Moon in the Aries might deal with that shit a little bit, because it deals with your internal deep desires, and it gets to a point, whatever it is that fulfills that desire, you're not really caring about the face of it or whatnot. Moon in Aries, you just want to get that fulfilled, whatever that feeling is. You feel me? So there could be some things dealing with that, but I know for a fact though, with the Venus in the 8th house, that is one placement. When Venus is in any type of debilitation or fall state, it's gonna bring it has potential to bring issues with that. All right. So this is Venus in the 8th house. This is Venus in Scorpio. This is Venus in Aries. This is Venus in the first house. This Venus in the first house. Venus and Pisces in the 12th house might love everybody. Venus and Pisces in the 12th house might not even have no limits on who they love. Like, I love anybody. I date anybody. Like, I date a fucking teddy bear. It don't matter. If the motherfucker wants some love, I got something to give. I'm fucking with y'all being Pisces. I'm fucking with y'all being Pisces 12. I love y'all. I know y'all asses is some lovable ass mother. All right. But nah. Yeah, so that's definitely something to take an eye out when you're looking at sexual orientation. What's the state of Venus? What squares opposition she's dealing with? Venus square Uranus screams. I deal with transformations with love. I have potential to attract transformative ass situations in my life if I don't, learn to get control over my motherfucking pleasures. Because Uranus brings the power and control aspect. He got Venus in the 8th house. The 8th house is a Mars-Pluto influenced house. So that's another issue Venus has here. It's going to deal with power and control issues in relationships. So Venus in the 8th house, not only do they have the potential to be the manipulator, be the narcissist, be the one with hidden agendas in the relationship, right? A lot of times this may be developed through them experiencing that. So it's you attracting that with these placements there too. Like I said, you're going to be exposed to the trauma. And because Venus is in there, it may be a lot of relationship trauma in there too. So, you can start to, a lot of times there's certain placements that make it easier for us to adapt negative things that we've experienced as a defense mechanism. So we push it out first so it don't happen to us in some type of shape or form, or maybe in our first relationship experiences, we experienced some shit and we thought we had to do this to make sure, we save ourselves in our next relationship or not. So with that type of alignment, Venus in the 8th house already dealing with power and control issues, vulnerable ass energies, confusion, with their love language. Now it's squaring Uranus too. God damn. So my love language be changing. Sometimes when I get into Venus activities, Uranus comes out of nowhere and fuck shit up. AKA, I like somebody, I'm dating somebody, and some whole other shit comes left. Feel me? Shorty invite me to the crib. We've been texting. You feel me? I don't even be FaceTiming like that, but I be FaceTiming Shorty. You feel me? We texting, we FaceTiming. Then I go link. And then you feel me? We kicking in and all that. Is everything is wavy. You feel me? Like the vibe is better than I thought it would be. And I already thought it was gonna be good. Then her baby daddy just come in the crib. And now I'm in a fist fight with this nigga. Venus square Uranus. Even when shit look like sometimes shit going a little smooth in relationships, Uranus come with some little unpredictable shit, and it's something at times it's like I'm put in situations or relations where I got to learn to adjust to something, a new change with somebody, unexpected energy sometimes, right? Attract that I dated. I have Aquarius, Venus, 8th house. I do attract that. I just dated a Scorpio. He did me dirty, so now I'm staying to myself. And one thing about that, Venus in the 8th house, you have to be real conscious, and this is not easy to do, but you got to be real conscious of not holding things deep after these transformations. You got to be careful of that. You have to be careful of that with that here, especially if you have multiple planets in the 8th house or whatnot. That can be so easy to do. All right, so a lot of the times you can, with that placement, you can feel that not revenge energy, but you could feel that Venus picking up that intensity. Like, okay, fuck that motherfucker. I'm finna turn up. I'm finna get money. I'm finna do this, that, and the third. I'm finna transform. I'm finna develop. So Venus has the power to do that in the 8th house. That's the energy that is healthy to lean on when you go through transformations with love and relationships. If you have Venus and Scorpio, Venus in the 8th house, anything in the 8th house has that potential. So now we're talking about the positive to the 8th house, because just because we say the 8th house is dark, that doesn't mean negative. Dark doesn't mean negative. Just because we use the word manipulate in the 8th house, manipulate does not mean negative. Manipulate just has a negative connotation to it. We manipulate things every day. You manipulate your hair, you manipulate your skin in different ways, you know, you manipulate all different type of shit. You try to manipulate your career situation, you try to manipulate all different type of things. But somebody with a lot of 8th house Scorpio placements, you know, they're going to understand manipulating a bit more because they're dealing with change of energy, transformations, and understanding energies behind the scenes. All right. Especially if they have a sun and Mercury in air like this motherfucker. So you definitely going to understand manipulation, the potential for manipulation on deep levels, on top of attracting people that have that type of ability as well. But, you know, with all that being said, though, the very positive thing of the 8th house is the ability to transmute. So when you have Venus here, that's what I want y'all to understand. Like I said, listen, man, I'm a whole Libra. So it's one thing for me to have Venus in the 8th house because that's my sun ruler. That's my son's ruler. So that's real tough. That's real tough having your sun or your chart ruler in a debilitation, you know? So that's my whole life. That's my whole life. My whole life is my detachment or wanting to be in the 8th house to myself in some type of shape or form, fucking up relationship potential a lot of the time. You know, sometimes there could be situations I want to be to myself and I could love what's going on in the relationship. I could love what's going on with the potential of the situation, but me dealing with my own individual energy or having to recollect and feel like it's time to regenerate. You feel me? I've been with an individual too much. This is time for me to recoup, recollect, aka regenerate. 8th house Scorpio-like energy. That could be perceived as a negative thing. It could be perceived as like, the fuck you need all that you time for, or why you detached in that sense, or something hidden, something you need to express. Is like, nah, nothing hidden. I just appreciate being in my own space. Motherfucking emotions be changing a whole lot. Got Venus in the 8th house, baby. I look at love change a whole lot. All right. So it's cool when I kick it with you, and then I go do my own little thing, regenerate, reprocess, then we link again and we try this motherfucker again. All right. So that's some advice out there for my Venus in the 8th house, Venus and Scorpios. Lean on that transmutation. You go through some transformative ass shit in your life, some shit that impact the emotions. You're always gonna feel that shit if you have a placement like that. You know, strong Mars placements, period, because they're naturally gonna be competitive. But a Venus in the 8th house, Venus and Scorpio, you're going to go through transformations in relationships. You're gonna experience situations that you may deal with hidden agendas, secrets, or you personally just very vulnerable in situations, expressing your depth of emotion, revealing things, connecting. It might be you personally dealing with it if you're not always attracting other people that are trying to manipulate you, power and controlling. You could attract a lot of possessive relationships. Venus in the motherfucking 8th house. All right. So, you know, use that healing energy in there, man. Use that passion, use that the passion to transmute it, because that's what it's going to do. A lot of Venus in the 8th house people have the potential to a lot of heavy 8th house people, period, you know, especially Venus in the 8th house, because whenever you have a debilitation in the chart, this is basically your diamond in a rough placement. And that's what people don't be understanding about this astrology shit. Motherfuckers be wanting to hear that they got the fixed star, this placement fixed star on their sun. Oh, I got an Aldebaran sun. Oh shit, I got a motherfucking I got a fucking Sirius Mercury. I got a motherfucking formal halt moon. Okay, cool. That's dope. That's dope. But there's a motherfucker out here with some crazy ass squares and oppositions, and boy, the transformations they going through right now, the resistance in their life they going through right now, the turbulence and the resistance, and having to see peers in their age excel a little bit past them some more, because maybe some of their peers have more sextiles and trines. So, you know, the first 30 years of life before Saturn return is shit a little bit smoother, and they have to deal with life a little bit more after the Saturn return. When you got the squares and opposites, your shit flow better after Saturn returns. You got a lot of sextiles and trines. You start dealing with shit after the Saturn return, because leading up to the shit, you might have had more of a smooth more of a smoother flow with things, you know. You may have supportive family and some type of shit before your creativity, your personality develop some type of some reputation, business for you at a young age, this and that third. So you probably don't even have to go to college because you already got ideas of what you could do already. You got a brand started, you got a reputation for this, that, and the third. You feel me? As soon as you get out of college, you got a career, you got a job, you ready, you 21, you 22, whatever, you already got a career, you got your own home, own crib, 23. You 5 years away from your Saturn return, you already got your own car, own crib, okay, you doing your shit. You doing your shit you with your sextile trined up ass. But just know when Saturn return hit for your ass, there's gonna be a little shift with all that shit. All right. Then when you got a nigga like me with the squares and ops, square op family, sun square moon, sun opposite ascendant, things start opening up a little bit after that Saturn return time. You feel me? So, you know, it's a shift towards everything, but at the end of the day, the squares and oppositions are things to focus on the chart, family. I don't really look at the sextiles and trines as that big of a focus because this is something that you brought here. You already accomplished it. So it's like, you know, you already accomplished it. It don't take effort for you to do that shit. It's a talent. It's a gift. You do it easily. You do it better than the average person. And you never worked on this in this lifetime. So why are we focusing on that so motherfucking much? The sextiles and trines, okay, you better understand how to work that power and never forget it and always take advantage of that shit. There's never universe ain't no rule, universe or God made to say you only could use your sextiles, trines, and conjunctions this many times. You are here to take full advantage of the powers you manifested from your previous life travels, but understand your squares and oppositions. This is what's going to transform a whole lot in your life. This is what's going to help you actually not reincarnate. That's what's going to, not the sextiles and trines. All the motherfuckers be doing crazy shit with sextiles and trines and thinking that shit is like some shit that was needed for your spiritual development. Nah, you just creative enough to make some magic with some experience that you have. The real spiritual development comes from developing the things that are not developed. What's the point of experiencing life and all you do is just max out with the things that you're good at, but you died and none of the shit that needed work was worked on? That's why you reincarnate. That's specifically why you reincarnate. You know, the things that you signed contracts to develop, you ignored all of them shits, and you just tried to thrive with your gifts, and you ain't find no balance. You ain't even try to use your gifts to support the lessons. You ain't even try to use the things that you manifested from the previous lifetime as things that you could use as power in this. You ain't even try to use that shit to actually see if it could help the issues that you came into this motherfucker with. So I'm squares op game. I meet a chick that I like. When I see that chart, I want to see some. I do synastry. I want to see some squares and ops. If I see too many sextiles and trines, that really might discourage me. All jokes aside, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a harmonious flow. We're gonna have a harmonious flow and shit. The shit gonna be compatible and shit. But it's like you need them. It's in synastry. In synastry, you need them. You need them squares and ops. You need them because that's what keeps a lot of the spice. That's what keeps a strong gravitational pull. That's what keeps attraction. That's what keeps intensity. Why you think you want makeup sex? Because there's a level of intensity that was built up from that. That does something to you. All right. That subconsciously makes you feel like this person has a lot of emotion for me. That's really the science to why a woman would be turned on with her man being like, yo, shut the fuck up. Listen, go make the motherfucking tacos, Yvette. Ain't nobody doing this shit with your ass tonight. You know who the fuck I is? Go make them tacos and take your ass into the bedroom after that. Why you think you like being talked to like that? Because it's not so much about, oh, I love being talk too nasty, put me in my place. No, it's not about that. It's subconsciously, spiritually, your feminine energy, you feel me? It's picking up on the fact, damn, somebody care that much about me? Cuss me out then, motherfucker. Shit, go ahead, hit me while you at it. Go ahead, take your best shot. All right, chill. Sorry, y'all. I don't want to put no ideas in motherfuckers' heads right now. Don't put no ideas in motherfuckers' heads right now. But dead ass. I'm dead ass. I don't mean to sound toxic, y'all, because I'm borderline on some toxic shit, right? I'm borderline hitting the toxic line right now. I'm just trying not to cross it, but I'm there. Like my pinky toe right bottom, my big toe right bottom of it. I'm trying to break this shit down on a subconscious, on a vibrational level. This is what the feminine energy is picking up on, all jokes aside. That's the science to the makeup sex. That's the science to arguing, all of that leading up to a passionate connection. Is damn, motherfucker, that's what your spirit picking up on. Motherfucker care that much. Damn. All right. Somebody could get that angry and frustrated about me. I can make somebody that angry and frustrated. Women, y'all a trip. Because y'all really be testing y'all love language off that shit. Like, let me see how angry, frustrated I can get this motherfucker. Get that motherfucker up to like a 9 level angry. And you go to sleep happy. Like, okay, good. Yep, I still got it. Women, y'all evil. But I'm spiritual, so I understand that shit. Ain't gonna catch me slipping like that, but y'all energy still powerful. So sometimes it don't even matter. Your ass, you can't help it. It's just them waters, man, them vibrations. You can't help it. Only a woman gonna have Jody on the phone arguing with another motherfucker in prison. Ain't nobody doing that but a woman. Ain't nothing doing that but a yoni. Jody bald-headed ass arguing with this motherfucker in prison. This motherfucker broke and incarcerated. You are out in the streets living with your family. Why are you arguing? Why are you like, sit your ass down, Jody? Is that good? You that shit that good? You just a baby boy. You're not the real book. Nah. Hey, yo. Feminine energy, something else, man. Something I don't know how we got here. I don't know how we got here. What placement? How we get here, y'all? What placement was I talking about? Something in astrology brought me to what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. I crossed it, Pocahontas. I ain't mean to cross it. Oh yeah, I was talking about the subconscious energy, the feminine energy. I'm telling you, that's what the science is. That's why when you try to start that argument, or you can't get that flare out of your man, you feel me? You can't get that flare out of your guy. You start being like, this nigga don't care. This nigga don't care about shit. Even if your boyfriend, your husband is some introverted ass nigga, like nigga barely speaks, some silent ass nigga, right? And you know that's how he is. But you know everybody still got that way of expressing, I don't want to be fucked with right now. So even if you can't get that out, it's like, come on. Every woman know how to push her man's buttons. So when she see that button don't work no more, that's a problem. Can't get the nigga angry and frustrated no more. But y'all got to chill on that shit though. Like relax. Like y'all be using that trial a little bit too many times in a month. Do that shit 1 to 2 times max in a month. That once a week shit ain't that's not it. That's not it. 1 to 2 times max a month. All right, hold it down. Okay, Venus. Okay, we got here about Venus and Ape. God damn, that Venus and Ape. See, you start talking about 8th house placements and shit get crazy. You start talking about 8th house placements. So yeah, I think we're talking about that Venus square Uranus. Yup. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, the squares and oppositions, guys. Not all jokes aside. I've said many a times, y'all want to go ahead, write down them squares and oppositions. Y'all got to work on them shits every day. I know every square. I know every aspect in my head, but them squares and oppositions got drilled into my head very quick. You feel me? I recite them shits degree by degree, because as the more you learn about your squares and oppositions, the more you realize certain things you've done in your life that was a result of you not getting that square opposition together. You know, and once you see so much of that, then that's going to motivate you to want to start working on that square opposition. You know, and a lot of you guys do have listen, God give all his battles to his, listen, you get the battle that's deserving of you. You came into this realm equipped with everything needed to overcome. So, you know, I never really understood certain astrologers saying that certain motherfuckers is just doomed for certain things, that you don't have the will to change certain things. Even looking at Jeffrey Dahmer's chart, he had potential you know, to really be somebody that can help others with eighth house things, as intelligent and in touch with the eighth house as he is. But as you can see, the negative sides of these placements has overwhelmed him. You know, restriction and distance with Jupiter in that Saturn in that third house plays a huge factor as to what he was experiencing in his adolescent stages. So it's one thing to have all this intensity going on with the eighth house, with your sun, your awareness, what you're exposed to, right? Especially within your father, or because, you know, with the sun sign or with guardians, period. And the sun also deals with childlike activity, period. So when y'all look at squares or oppositions to your sun and think about childhood trauma or whatnot, a lot of that could be with squares oppositions to your friction with your sun. Always correlate the sun to childlike energy, children-like energy, right? Leo energy is children, child, joyful, childlike activity, you know. So once again, with his sun being exposed to all this trauma, all this dark shit, Mercury in the 12th house, digging the influencing the curiosity for him to mentally dive deeper into all of that shit. It's crazy to have that type of stimulation in the subconscious and be exposed to these things. But then you have Saturn and Jupiter in the third house, so it don't even feel like you have nobody to relate to. You don't have a sibling to talk about this shit with. You don't have a cousin, you feel me, that you really fuck with to relate this shit. You don't got a cool best friend to really relate this shit about with. And how you think that makes a air sun feel? How you think that make an air rising feel? That's trauma alone for somebody with a lot of air placements. That's trauma alone. Growing up not having somebody to talk to, you trying to create a criminal. You trying to create a criminal. So that environment is going to develop a psychopath, or that environment has the potential to develop a psychopath. Period. You know, then the moon and Mars and Aries just put icing on the cake, because it has so much potential to be self-destructive. It has so much potential to be self-destructive. On one shift, we have extremely self-motivated, doesn't need external help to be motivated and inspired. That is a strong gift to have as an Aries moon. That's very powerful to have, right? But don't get it twisted. The moon, you got to understand the temperament of the moon and Mars. Those are two extremely different temperaments. The moon is way more gentle and understanding. The moon and Mars is way more forceful, you know? So you add this temperament towards somebody's emotions, how they react to things. And, you know, you have this shift of somebody being highly motivated, doesn't need external help to be inspired or whatnot, or to take action on things that they're passionate about, you know, which is something that a lot of people struggle with. Mars and Aries, moon and Aries, or moon and Mars and Aries usually don't have that issue. But Mars and Aries alone, it's volatile. Mars and Aries likes physicality. It likes physicality. It loves competition. It thrives in competition. Both moon and Mars and Aries, but this alignment alone thrives in competition. All right. But can be very combative. The moon in Mars can experience abuse as well. Can experience abuse as well early in life, right? Because the moon is going to tie into motherly influences, feminine energy. So it could be extreme energies dealing with connection. You know, the way you was forced to connect, you was like everything is forced with the moon by Mars. So your parents may have been loved there, unconditional love there, but they may have been real forceful with themselves, and it may have been real subconscious. Moon and Aries may have parents that didn't even realize their ass was being way too aggressive, that they was, beating you way too aggressive at a certain age. It's like, okay, goddamn, beating my ass is one thing, but motherfucker, I was 4. You had to throw the iron at my ass. Gave motherfucking brain damage. So you might have some parents don't even understand until they get older. Like, God damn, I was really wild. Like, damn, you was too young for that. You might experience that moon in Aries by Mars there. The moon alone can tie into your connection with your mother and feminine energy and the home environment by default. So regardless of your 4th house placement, that moon energy just squares in opposition to your moon is going to show things that cause challenges with your emotional development. And with the moon naturally correlating to feminine energy, your mother can always be a vessel to play out squares and oppositions of your moon, So that's just by default there. But yep. There's gonna be some intense situations there. I have one sibling. I had 2, one passed, and my sibling that's alive, that's my older brother. All right, the oldest sibling, the one that passed was my middle brother, and my older brother, he's a double Aries, sun and moon in Aries. So it's really motherfuckers. I mean, I'm not in no state in my life where I'm trying to realize if astrology is real or not. I'm outside looking in, motherfucker. I know all the spiritual shit. I know what it is. So if y'all need to catch up, if y'all whatever, but it's just crazy looking at my siblings' chart and seeing their relationship with my parents. We all the same family. We were all raised by the same parents, but all have different dynamic relationships with your parents. So it's like seeing that is crazy, And my brother's a moon in Aries, and for some reason, my pops was way more volatile with him. Mars in Aries, moon in Aries is this volatile placement, Like I said, so it could be self-destructive, it could be volatile with other motherfuckers. It could be competitive, but on very positive side, like I said, extra naturally self-motivated, very competitive, thrives in competition. This can give sore loser type energy though. It's hard, can't really process taking a loss and shit. It can give that. All right. Shit, Sierra Waters got them vibes. I'm bugging. Mars conjunct moon in Aries. Shit. That's all of her. She write a book on that energy. So she already knows, she already could affirm all of that. Yes, moon in Aries, mom can be abusive. Yeah, man, listen. Aries moon, especially in the 6th, needs something to do on the mind because the devil's playground. And that's another thing. The 6th house. It's so he has the moon in Aries with all that intensity, self-destructive, but it's in the 6th house. All right. And like Sierra said, Aries moon, especially in the 6th, needs something to do or in the mind becomes the devil's playground. Why? Because the 6th house deals with activity, routine. It needs things to be put in order, things to be structured, right? This is why Mercury thrives here. This is the natural influence of Virgo. This is why Virgo loves putting things together. This is why I like a girl with some Virgo placements. Come clean up my room. I'll be a little too busy. Come clean up. Come help a nigga with a little co-wash or something. Help a nigga. Come help a nigga co-wash and get a little 2-strand twist in. You feel me? Vacuum a nigga carpet and shit. Shout out to Virgo placements, y'all. Y'all don't mind. Shout out to Virgo 6th house placements. I love my Capricorn ass love throwing y'all asses some task. My Capricorn moon rising ass love psyching up a Virgo to do some shit for my black ass. You just gotta act that. Oh, you don't ask them, y'all. Look, I'm gonna give y'all some little manipulated magic real quick. Yo, blame it on the moon in Scorpio. I'm sorry, it's the moon in Scorpio, y'all. It's not my fault. Look, you just gotta. This is how you gas up a Virgo. This is how you gas up a Virgo to do some shit for you that you don't really want to do. You too lazy to do. You just gotta act mad frustrated doing that shit around. Yo, chill. I'm so evil. What the fuck? You just gotta act mad frustrated. Like, damn, why this shit not working? That's all I'm telling y'all. That's it. That's it. The motherfuckers gonna turn into Bob the Builder. I promise you. They gonna make it their life duty to fix whatever the fuck you have an issue with. They gonna make it their life duty. I promise y'all. They're not gonna leave your crib till that motherfucking desk and that desk and chair setup that you ordered is motherfucking fixed the right way. Oh, fucking Virgo will tell you. Virgo will leave the crib, be like, you know what? Shit, it's getting late. I gotta get home from work because you know they be on their schedule, right? Shit, it's getting late. Gotta go home for work. Motherfucker be like, I ain't finished fixing that. Don't fuck with it. I'm gonna come back and fix it tomorrow. Motherfucker will come back on a 2-day part. Like, damn. Listen, man. Oh shit. I'm such an evil Capricorn moon, y'all. Don't be like me, y'all. If you're a Capricorn moon riser, don't fall into this type of this the devil. This the tarot card vibration right now I'm in. So all of this is moon and Scorpio. So you call it what you want, but I'm in alignment right now. All right. I'm in motherfucking alignment right now. That's how you psych a Virgo up. I promise you. Dishwasher not working in the house. Invite a Virgo over for dinner. That's all. Invite a Virgo over for dinner. As soon as it's time to put the motherfuckers in this, we're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. I'm like, what happened? Curious ass. Curious as a motherfucker. What happened? Can't fucking pay attention to nothing else. Somebody says something, the Virgo got a motherfucking antennas. What happened? You okay? You good in there in the kitchen? Like, this motherfucking dishwasher, man. This shit just I've been trying to get this shit to work for fucking months. Like, ever since I got this house. Like, what's the point? Niggas ain't even tell me this shit. I bought this house months ago. They ain't even tell me this shit not working. Virgo was like, man, let me see that shit, man. You got instruction manual? They left an instruction manual for this house? Matter of fact, I don't even need that shit. Let me see. You got a flashlight. Let me get a toolbox. It's over. Virgo going to work. It's over. You got them. That's it. They locked in. Once they start analyzing this shit, you just need to make sure you get their Mercury on it. And once their Mercury get on it, it's a puzzle now. It's a puzzle they got to figure out. And this brings fulfillment to a Virgo, to a Gemini, to a Mercury in Virgo Gemini, to somebody with a lot of 6th house placements. Mercury in the 6th house. I'm telling you, you know. But let it be a relationship problem. That's when that's the issue you might not want to let them just fix all by themselves right there. That might be an issue that you might be like, all right, Virgo, we're gonna do this together. Because once we leave relationship issues for you to fix by yourself, that's the one thing I have to actually monitor your ass with. This is a team job. Because you be panicking in the name of love. But back to these energies, y'all. All right. So those are the most extreme placements that pop out to me, guys. Where's the Saturn at? Capricorn. Damn, he's a Saturn in Capricorn too. That's demon energy. I'm just trying to look at some other significant aspects, y'all. Yeah, that Mercury sextile Mars. Okay. All right, where's the seventh house rulers? Mars is seventh house lord in the sixth house. Okay. You can be real forceful with relationships overall. Shit. We seen that. We see that, right? Let me just see what else in the Uranus. Yeah, that Venus square Uranus, only square to Uranus. Sun square Pluto. That's a very significant placement too when we're looking at this guy's situation, because Sun square Pluto, damn, I ain't gonna lie, he has some tough placements. He has some tough placement, man. But Sun square Pluto, you always placed in situations where you may feel forced to have to change or transform how you express yourself, how you're seen, your appearance. You know, if so he has the sun in the 8th house in his Gemini Taurus cusp. He has Pluto and Virgo in the 11th house. So the houses that it's in is like, god damn, because the sun in the 8th house, right? The identity likes to be behind the scenes, doesn't like to have all the eyes on it. But unfortunately, what the sun does in the 8th house is bring light to the 8th house. So sometimes it's hard to hide things with the sun in the 8th house. But it has friction with Pluto in the 11th house. So he has to constantly learn how to express himself to other individuals out in the external realm, you know, and he goes through a lot of transformative situations interacting with people in the 11th house a lot of the times. Sometimes he may deal with some vulnerability interacting with others in that 11th house with his all that active 8th house energy, all that to himself energy, all that possibly having perverted thoughts, dark thoughts about shit, different fetishes about shit, and wanting to play with that shit in his own world. But then Pluto's in the 11th house, so now it's always forcing his son to, you know, be expressive in the 11th house and embrace interacting with others and embrace transformations and changes amongst relationships. So that just creates a lot of friction for power and control issues in relationships, dealing with pressures in social environments. Pluto is very intense, so whenever it's squaring or opposing another planet, you know, that motherfucker comes off like a motherfucking Navy SEAL officer and shit. And Pluto is hella militant. You know, Pluto's real militant like. All right. So when it's on squaring the sun, this is somebody that feels like that they have to constantly go through different changes with their self-identity, expressing themselves. You know, how they express themselves, that could be a frustrating thing to do at times, you know, having to really understand, should you be more of an upfront person expressing yourself? Should you be more passive, be more relatable, too stubborn, this, that? But you always getting different opinions, different critiques. Then you go one relationship you was in, you was called too passive. Next relationship you was in, motherfucker saying you too aggressive. It's like, god damn, Sun square Pluto. Which one of these motherfuckers you want me to be? Whenever you have changeable energies, transformative planets hitting your sun sign, these are like different crises you may go through developing your self-identity. You know, you have a lot of changeable thoughts, a lot of circumstances that make you overthink how you should be expressing yourself. And at the end of the day, you need to always resonate with what's natural, you know, what makes you feel like you're not hiding parts of yourself based off of social pressures. You feel me? My whole listen. Matter of fact, I'm not even listen. I was about to go ahead and I was about to bring up me for an example. That's probably gonna be a whole nother long ass side talk about nothing. So let me not even go there. But oh shit, exactly. That's another placement. Thank you, Kevin Hernandez. Thank you. Wait, how did I see that when I clicked on the moon? Oh, okay. So you talking about okay, so you talking about Sun square Pluto? You said what about Sun opposition Pluto? Oh yeah. Sun, you mean Sun square Pluto? Yeah, you got Sun square Pluto. All right. But this is another placement not to overlook as well, that Lilith in Gemini in the 8th house. And understand Lilith. Lilith is going to bring situations where, you know, you're going to go through dark experiences, right? Potential dark transformative experiences, you know. So when you got it in Gemini, it's going to be amongst relationships. It's going to be amongst dark transformative situations where there was probably huge misunderstandings within close relationships or whatnot, certain intimate relationships or whatnot. So that could be very tough to go through, especially when he has all that activity in the 8th house and he's already trying to discover himself, himself and understand his sexual preferences and all of that shit. That nigga just got mad intensity there, so he just get overly frustrated and he started taking that shit out on other people, you know. So once again, the fascination of others, the fascination of death, period, but him having all that air energy, it leads into a lot of that in the 8th house, and then energies hitting that Mars, that moon, the Mars sextile Mercury. That's another key alignment because it gives him the actual Mercury in the 8th house in Gemini is already gonna have a million of fucking thoughts, right? A million thoughts, but it's in the 8th house, so he's gonna have a million thoughts about dark shit. Then the sun is there, it motivates him to take action on these things. Then Mars motivates Mercury, to bring these ideas into life. So it was just so much energy he had motivating the potential of things that he was exposed to, and he may have fantasized about on some dark shit, especially with Neptune and Scorpio, heavy 8th house placements, exposed to the situations, experiencing the trauma, schizophrenic mother, trauma in the home, distance within the local environment, but then he's hot, but then he's pretty intellectual, he's pretty smart, and then he has some communication intuition, so he comes off socially awkward, but when he started getting into his adult stages, that motherfucking awkwardness wasn't so awkward to the point he didn't know how to psych other people's minds up to lead strangers into his home. So this is, and I'm kind of gonna cap it off on this note, y'all. This is kind of what I was bringing up in the previous live stream when I was talking about energies being developed. You may listen to an astrologer, they say, oh, you have Neptune and Pisces, this person gonna be this, that, and the third, clairvoyant, this, that, and the third, a healer, this, that, and the third. But you're gonna have natural properties of that energy. It's always gonna be within you. It's always gonna be dormant within you. But you're gonna go. Excuse me, guys. You're gonna have to go through experiences to cultivate those high properties of that placement at times. There may be certain degrees of a placement and certain alignments in his own where somebody, comfortably walks into a certain gift that they have. But certain placements overall, it takes time to develop certain properties of them. It takes time to develop. So with all them air energies, as socially awkward as you are, you're constantly attracting a lot of situations dealing with interaction in some type of shape or form. It just sucks that he had that Jupiter and Saturn in the 3rd house. If he possibly had a little bit more experiences dealing with healthy interaction, he may not have been so closed off to be by himself with all that 8th house shit. He was always going to be a deep, dark 8th house motherfucker, but the 8th house is called the 8th house for a reason. The 8th house is to stay to your motherfucking self. You're not supposed to be letting that shit out. Is the 8th house. You want to have positive ways of transforming it and releasing it, but just letting something out your 8th house ain't really the thing to do. All right. People just don't go out in the streets and say, hey, I was sexually abused at a young age. Hey, I have STD. Hey, I just got cheated on. Hey, we just don't go out and yell 8th house things and just wear them. No, these are traumatic things. These are transformative things. They're hidden for a reason. They're in the dark, under our bed, in the closet for a reason. They make us feel vulnerable, Can make us maybe feel ashamed, embarrassed, whatever it is. It might be an insecurity. It's an 8th house motherfucking thing. You feel me? And by default, with all that activity in there, especially with Venus being a debilitation in there, he was already going to be dealing with these things and having all that activity and stimulation by default. But it just came down to him actually having a lot of energies that supported him as he got older, you know, being able to want to bring a lot of that shit into fruition. All right. So this series is pretty interesting as I keep watching it. You know, like I said, I'm really early into it or whatnot. But as soon as I kind of grasp like the first episode last night, I'm like, yeah, I got to get on this. And I started seeing that it was everybody talking about it on Twitter or whatnot. I'm like, yeah, let's get into these energies. And I just started seeing all these 8th house energies and Stellium and then motherfucking Neptune and Scorpio and then motherfucking Mercury Sextile. There's a lot going on here. It's a lot going on, man. All right. Like I said, the 8th house energy is the possessions of the dead. Possessions of the dead. Whether there's gonna be an inheritance, good looking, bro. Whether there's gonna be an inheritance, you feel me? You bounced already, or you about to? I thought you said it's going over the water. All right. So, yeah, that 8th house axis, inheritance of the dead. Whether it's inheritance from your grandma, your pops, somebody passing the family left you a little something, make some magic, or you know, harvesting dead body parts, being around the dead, having to be authority over things that's expired or the dead or whatnot. So like it's kind of you're gonna be exposed to all of them things, you know. I have the 4th house lord in the 8th house. All right. So I didn't the death with loved ones, close ones, it's significant placements towards that house. It will you're gonna experience these things. You're gonna experience these things, all right. And there's a lot of healing properties to be developed out of these things. The reality of these situations is with intense energies like moon and 8th house placements, Venus in 8th house. The reality of it is there is potential for you to become well versed dealing with the subconscious based off of what you had to experience. But it takes experience. Sometimes it takes you dealing with such an impactful situation in the subconscious to even be an example to others how to deal with that shit. You might have some people that came into this experience with certain gifts dealing with the subconscious, but then again, that shit got to be developed, you know? It may take you having to get your heart broken one time to get your heart broken again and understand you could be happy again. Because after that first time you got your heart broken, you worked on being in a happy state and you experienced that and you knew it was possible. So now the second time it hurt. Getting your heart broke still motherfucking hurt. But getting your heart broke is a part of life, unfortunately. It's a part of life. We get our heart broke in all different type of situations. All right. We get disappointed, we get disheartened in all different type of situations, not even just intimate situations. All right. But how you respond. Did you put yourself in a position where you were able to see something positive after that? So now next time you have that reinforcement, you could look back at that past experience like, I remember the last time I had a that negative situation happen and I bounced back. So it's possible this time, this, that, third. So it really comes down, you know, to that approach. But this what I'm saying right now to somebody who has intense 8th house placements, 8th house stellium, you know, very intense Mars energies by the Venus, transformative energies by the Venus, like a Venus square Saturn like he had, you know, even like a Venus, you know, once again, in a debilitated space, and you may have certain insecurities or frustrations with your own sexual preference, whatever it may be, you know, those are things that you're gonna have to look out for when you're looking at any of them aspects over there. All right. But yeah, that's very important to pop out. And another thing, another last thing is, even though Venus is debilitated in the 8th house, understand Venus does bring help and support where she's at. Venus can correlate to you know, the potential growth of things dealing with finances. So the 8th house dealing with inheritances and the resources of others, Venus can manifest a lot of support for that shit. And that's the scary thing about Venus in the 8th house. That's the scary thing about that placement. Venus is exposed to so much dark things, but
she starts to create opportunities where she gets so much access to all these dark things. So all these things that's dark, whether it's alcohol, whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whatever type of bad habit, whatever type of bad desire, Venus can end up creating scenarios where she has easy access to these things. So you have to think about how the fuck somebody can kill this many people, live in an apartment building, have a foul odor in the building, neighbors kind of having suspicions, and this many murders. He gets to kill this many people. So even for deep, dark things like that, Venus can find ways to access support for them things. Support for deep, dark desires. That's why it creates those fetishes here. Part of why I can create these fetishes here. All these things start to feel obtainable, but these people are going to be hidden with this, You're going to be hidden with these things. They're going to have private relationships, So Venus in the 8th house, it don't even have nothing to do with any confusion or insecurity about their sexual preference or anything. Venus in the 8th house and Venus in Scorpio may just like not having everybody into their relationship business. They may just like Venus in the 8th house may get engaged and get married, and that's the first time you hear about their fucking relationship. When they got engaged, when they got married, like you ain't hear shit about the dating phase. You ain't hear shit about that shit. Venus ain't look. Scorpio don't like Mars energy. Don't like looking stupid. Even when Mars, if Aries, Scorpio, even when you joke around with them with something in a way of like saying like they sound stupid or they don't know what they're talking about, that is highly offensive to them. And Scorpios and Aries already could take things personal because it's Mars energy. But when it's in the fashion where you're trying to say they're dumb in a way, they will want to fight you off that shit. I ain't gonna lie. And at that point, it's not even an intellectual thing no more. It's not even a prove me I'm dumb. Logically, rationally, prove me right now that what I said is stupid or don't make sense. That might be an air earth sign response. But the motherfucking Mars, Scorpio, fucking Aries, Scorpio, that shit like that, they may hit you with the Ayo. Watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth. I don't even know who you're talking to like that, bro. Because we talking about some whole other shit, but the way you're talking to me right now, we could take it to some whole other shit. You're not my mom, you're not my dad. Who calling me stupid? Who the fuck is you? Einstein, nigga? Who the fuck is you talking to? So you're gonna get that. You don't usually get that. Mars don't like looking like is a weakling, Don't like that. All right. So he got lost in a fantasy with the last guy and got caught up. I wanted to search what was the date of the day he got caught to see influences and why he slipped up, how he slipped up on his game. Sierra said Lilith in Gemini gives sexual fluidity. See, that Lilith energy, in astrology, we love to correlate that Lilith energy to what we may be sexually attracted to, some of our sexual desires. Like I said, I like to correlate Lilith to like a female Pluto. Pluto deals with our desires. Mars in that 8th house deal with like our desires. So Pluto really correlates to that. Pluto's like really, that feminine energy that really looks towards either sex, manipulation. She looks towards all of that to get the job done. It ain't no right or wrong. That's her. Those are just Lilith's tactics, using dark magic, dark energy, hidden energy, manipulation, seduction, sex, all of that. I'll use all of that. Lilith will use all of that shit to get what the fuck she got to get done. So, Sierra putting us on some game. We know Gemini deal with that duality. So you got that Lilith in there. At times, you may utilize some of that Gemini energy in order to, access some of them deeper desires where Lilith is at. Lilith may have potential to play out extreme energies for you to connect to your desires in the sign that it's in. I got a cuspy Lilith. I got a 0 degree Lilith. So, But I like that. I like that, Sierra. Ain't no telling what the chances were. Either the 80s was a wild time. Right. Generational planets was all over the place. Fixed stars was in different places and shit. Moon and Scorpio, and we arguing in my fam about inheritance. Shit. Yep. Oh yeah, my 8th moon in Sag. But Moon and Scorpio, you gonna win though. If you got the Moon in Scorpio, you the one that's gonna win, most likely. You know, if there's something that you're fighting for right now. Oh yeah, my 8th moon in Sag knows how to get out. July 22, 91 was when he was Venus versus Mars. You the best. Let's jump to it, y'all. Let's jump to it real quick. You the best. Thank you so much. Saved me a lot of time. So yeah, so that's wrapping up Jeff's chart. All right. I wanted to do my best to map out like the potential for you guys to see what it, not just pointing out placements saying this is why he's a serial killer. Oh, Mercury at 6 degrees in 8th house. Yeah, this is a serial killer placement. That's what some motherfuckers will do. That's what some astrologers will do. They will literally say this is a serial killer placement, 6 degrees Gemini. All right. And I tell them, show me 5 serial killers with that same exact placement. And they can't do it. All right. But everything comes down to the potential, y'all. It comes down to the potential. Now, yeah, there could be some. I ain't gonna say there's not no placements and degrees that can't deal with death. It can't deal with murder, fascination with murder, you know. But you can't allow that one placement, whether it's factual or not. You can't allow that one placement to neglect all the other placements that created an environment for these things to develop. All right? For these things to develop, period. See what Sierra said. Lilith is dark feminine energy. You got to learn how to work with it. All right, so what's the date? It's July 22nd in 91. Let's see if he had any major squares opposition to his big 3. Let's see if his Venus was getting hit in a certain way. Let's see if his 8th house stellium was getting hit in a certain way that caused him to be exposed, to cause his 8th house energies to come to the light. That's really what I want to see off rip. All right. July 22nd, 1991. Let me just double check that's what you said. All right. Okay. So, wait, hold on. Damn, let me pull his chart back up on my side real quick. Okay, so the moon was in Sag. Direct opposite to his stellium, bro. But I got the time in at 8 o'clock. Well, yeah, nighttime. All this shit happened at night. Yeah, all this shit happened at night. So the moon was definitely in Sag around the time this happened. Wow. Look at that, y'all. The moon directly opposite in Sag. All right. Then, okay. Uranus was opposite the midheaven. 11 degrees Cap. What is midheaven? 23 degrees Cancer. Okay, not really opposite, but his internal life was starting to build some friction with his social status. Would eventually blossom into a huge transformation in his social status. Okay. Is there any cardinal squares? We got Jupiter and Leo. got Mercury and Leo. Venus and Mars was conjunct in Virgo that day. Venus and Mars was conjunct in Virgo on top of his Pluto. He had 3 degrees Pluto in Virgo. Venus and Mars was conjunct on his Pluto. He did a little bit too much for his desires on the wrong day and caused some huge transformation. We know Virgo deals with working on things, putting things in order. Him being, extra forceful, trying to work his plan, work his regular serial killer routine, kind of got out of hand that night, huh? Doing extreme things with Mars transiting your Pluto, you kind of want to beware of that, unless it's something positive. So unless you're putting positive, like passion towards, something that you're trying to create or develop. But once you're dealing with an extreme energy, you feel me? You about to like if Mars is on top of your Pluto and you driving and somebody cuts you off and gives you the finger outside the car, like, if that's me, I'm probably gonna want to get out the car and smack the shit out of somebody. But in my head, if Mars transiting my Pluto, you feel me, or whatnot, and I'm consciously aware maybe the moon is somewhere in that line, I might want to rethink what force, aggression, volatile energies, what type of transformation that really could cause. Cause I could probably get out the shit and smack the shit out of a nigga. I could potentially get also arrested, and the motherfucking nigga I slapped is related to the governor of this. Motherfucker get 4 years for slapping a nigga in the middle of a traffic. What type of bullshit is that? I should have listened to my astrologer. They told me stay away from extreme situations this next month and a half. Mars gonna be conjunct your Pluto. Your ass ain't listen. All right. The sun in Cancer in his 10th house is in the light. Thank you, Double D. So 10th house was lit up. Now, you guys, thank you, Double D. I really appreciate that. Oh, damn, I didn't even know. Sorry, guys. I didn't even know I had it small. But I think y'all see it better when y'all full screen it on y'all phones or where y'all watching it. But thank you for pointing that out, because this is an example of a placement either leaning on the positive or the negative side, right? So with the sun transiting his 10th house, it's so easy to say, oh, this is the time for business promotion, career development, new opportunities in career. You're going to be seeing new things in career. Those things are all true. But the core energy of this placement, whether it does it in a positive way or a negative way, the energy alone is going to bring light to your 10th house. It's going to bring light. This transit, something's going to light up with your social status, whether you be seen for it externally or you internally light up about something dealing with career and how you could project yourself into externally. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a positive light. Somebody that could be into some real negative shit, that could be the transit. They get exposed for it because the 10th house deal with your public image. So the sun transiting the 10th house, that would be a time a nigga could get exposed, for fraudulent emails, hidden motherfucker. You see the nigga hit Ime Udoka? You see Ime Udoka? Y'all see the tabs? Ime Udoka, the husband to Nia Long, that just the Boston Celtics head coach that just got suspended from the Celtics because he was cheating with a staff member. He probably going through some transits like this where like some shit that he had undercover got lit up just now. He probably going through some type of shit like this. You feel me? God damn, everybody looking at me right now. Sun in my 10th house, bright as shit, ain't it? It's bright as shit, ain't it? If it feel good when the brightness is on your new brand. It feel good when the brightness is on. It feel good when the brightness is on your new business. It feel good when the brightness is on that new album that you dropped. Everybody going crazy in the comments and you feel me streaming your music. But when it's some bullshit that you've been on and the sun trans in the 10th house, Sun transiting the 8th house, sun transiting the 4th house, and your ass get exposed for that shit. It comes out to the light. You thought you gonna keep that shit behind the scenes all the time. Now you got to deal with that transformation. You feel me? So appreciate that one, Double D. Definitely got a sharp eye on that one. I'm about to book a reading. I'm about to come book a reading with you. What are you talking about? All right. So yeah, that was a very important transit right there. What's his Leo house? Where's Leo at in his shit? Okay, yeah, all 10th house. Yep, that. Damn, his 10th house was lit up. His 10th house was lit up. His 11th house doesn't start until 26 degrees Leo. Yeah, he had Sun, Jupiter, and Mercury in there. Sun was conjunct Chiron that day. In Chiron is 0 degrees. Okay, Chiron 0 degrees. But yeah, that Venus and Mars on top of his Pluto, that's a big one too. You know, when Venus and Mars is together in a transit, that's a day that we got to understand we might go a little extreme when it comes to something that we love or like. We don't want to be too, like if we have Venus and Mars conjunct right now, this would not be the time to meet aggression or extreme energy with your partner. You don't want to meet it. You want to dissolve it. You know, because Venus and Mars, these energies both deal with feelings and emotions. They both deal with feelings and emotions. So when you put passion and love together in the same place, you know, when you put love next to violence, love next to aggression, love next to force, so perfect ingredients to create toxicity. It's a great alignment a lot of the times for somebody to be able to keep passion on things that they value too, though. All right. So people that have Venus and Mars in the same sign. Well, I can't always say the same sign because Venus and Mars, they play out differently in different signs. But the ability to have Venus and Mars conjunct, though, being in the same sign is one thing, but being conjunct, you know, this person can go through all type of mood swings and be very prideful when it comes into what they value, their own gifts and talents. So if they're a rapper, they're gonna be very competitive with their shit, and they're gonna be very prideful with their music and their art. You feel me? But then at the same time, they might be they could be a little stubborn towards advice. You know, at times they could just go through different shifts of Venus and Mars, being real relatable amongst things that they're passionate about, then being real stubborn and individual. But they're going to be real passionate about the things that they feel like that they have value with. So it go through all different shifts, being real prideful about the shit, taking things personal, hard to digest, people not receiving your gifts, your talents, your creativity well, you know. So yeah, y'all. Yeah, the 10th house was definitely lit up. Wow. That Venus and Mars. So yeah, but like to conclude what I was saying basically about Venus and Mars is just having that a lot of all that passion and potential force next to Venus is create potential for somebody to be forceful with love, forceful with their value, you know, might force their values on others in relationships. They're forceful, you know, they go through different shifts where it's hard to compromise, see things through other people's perspectives, force other people to see things through their perspectives. They could indulge in Venus too, so they could be extreme in Venus. Like you ever had a motherfucker force you to eat something? Like, no, try this. I'm telling you, like, nah, I'm good. I just ate. Like, no, I'm telling you, like, nah, I'm straight. I'm good. I don't even want that taste in my mouth. Like, my taste buds is good. Like, yo, taste this. It's like if you don't sit your Venus and Mars aggressive, now I feel like this is harassment. Bitch, I don't have appetite. I'm gonna taste this motherfucker. Venus and Mars. You're a little forceful with your giving. It's like, okay, you giving, but I ain't necessarily request what you giving. It's like you forcing this motherfucker upon me. All right. So yeah, it's just be a lot of intensity having Venus and Mars in the same place like that. But the fact that I was on top of his Pluto, yeah, you have all that energy on top of Pluto. you diving into any extreme energies amongst a Mars influence or a Venus influence, aka something that you overdoing it, trying to meet an extreme. I mean, you jumping into extreme energies, trying to meet a personal goal, personal intention, or a personal pleasure with Venus, and it's on top of your Pluto, you bound to experience a real transformative moment, transit wise. All right, transit wise. But it's just crazy that I really wanted to see what was hitting the stellium, and we have the whole moon in Sagittarius, literally opposite that night, like literally opposite that whole day. So that's wild. All right, and where's Aquarius in this chart? Okay, so yeah, Saturn transiting his 4th house. He was just coming off his Saturn return, a couple of years off his Saturn return. Okay, his chart ruler is Venus. So what other aspects was Venus hitting? Venus was in a trine in Uranus. So look at that. And the Venus, his chart ruler was in a harmonious alignment with Uranus. You got Venus trine Uranus. So that's natural opportunity to go through a transformation situation, a transformative situation, in enforcing a power and control issue amongst your value, amongst something that you like, a relationship issue. Like you just walking into an opportunity to experience something transformative amongst your love language, amongst a relationship issue, amongst something that you like or your love being extreme. You know, it's just naturally inviting that there. In a positive way, Venus trine in a positive way, Venus trine Uranus, this is the ability for us to bring positive transformation to our relationships. This energy, the type of energy that make you look at something that you like or you love that you're overindulging in, that's not productive for you, and Uranus is able to give you access to get some power and change it, transform that shit, get your power back. You know, you feel like that desire, that pleasure is is overwhelming you and whatnot. Uranus will help you fight that shit if we're experiencing a Venus Uranus trine. All right, but it also creates the opportunity for, you know, things amongst Venus energy to transform love, relationships, anything you overindulge in, pleasures, all of that, man. Double D said, Nia Long is a Scorpio. Do you think she's gonna get her revenge? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they're gonna stay together. I don't mean to be too conspiracy theory-ish, but I think this is kind of a humiliation ritual in a way. I'm kind of still like just picking up vibes about that situation, but it's giving humiliation ritual. It's giving, why does it have to be broadcasted so much that a coach had a grown-ass man had a sexual encounter with a staff member, even if it's the NBA's big business, whatever. So I guess certain precautions, there has to be certain consequences for things like that or whatnot. But it's like, okay, these grown ass people. Why I gotta be? The nigga ain't kill nobody. Like the nigga is not harvesting bodies. Like the fuck. So it's just funny how guys. We always have to pay attention to what's heavily broadcasted. Even if I can't point out nothing that seems funny about a situation, if it's heavily broadcasted and I feel like it's not that meaningful, it's something behind it. It's giving humiliation ritual. You know, it's feeding some type of agenda, some type of program, something. So that's how I look at that situation. And I think they're going to stay together. Nia Long has been approached by every fucking man in the world. They're adults. The ages that they're at, you kind of just want to live your life with your partner. Like you, at that point, you really just want to live your life with your significant other. You feel me? He's a pretty successful guy. I think they're gonna get through it. Like, I don't know. I think they're gonna stay together. Like, I think all of this shit is just funny. The nigga gets suspended for a whole. It's just that's funny money. I don't know. I might have to look at their synastry. I might be like tomorrow's live stream or something. You feel me? But all right, family. This was a nice. This is damn. We about to be 3 hours in. This was a nice one tonight. All right. Hope y'all learned something with these placements and these breakdowns of this crazy psychopathic mother. But my intention was to break down how his placements may have created an environment that developed this. Not just saying that he's this because of this placement, but helping us to understand how our placements create environments, how circumstances in our life, how us having certain placements may not be the thing that creates a certain attribute, but what experiences it places us in creates certain attributes and characteristics within us. All right. So somebody with a 3-planet stellium in the 8th house may not be a dark individual, like in a real negative way, like off rip. It might be things that developed them that way, that made them that way. You feel me? That pressured them into being that way in some type of shape or form. All right. Everything deals with like our energetic environment in some type of shape or form. And that's the natal helps us point out these things a whole lot and helps us to also break these traumas as well. All right. When you understand that you weren't a victim just by default, that you actually had some turbulent energies in a certain area, you had some karma in a certain area, you know, maybe some things in your past life manifested things. And as crazy as this may sound, what I'm about to say right now, see, we're all spiritual in here. So we're able to hear things differently, digest things differently. But guys, you always got to remember, you could see something negative happen to somebody in this experience and not know what they did in the past life. So we can never underestimate that, you know. Fuck around, see somebody get taken advantage of in some crazy way in his lifetime. Motherfucker was a murderer, motherfucker was a rapist in the past life and all that. So shit just get real deep when we look at karma. All right. Things get very deep when we look at karma. All right. But I hope you guys are able to pick up something based off these placements, how your placements and create certain and certain influence in your chart, create certain environments, and how to work with the potential for things, what to look out for when dealing with psychological issues, mental issues, you know, picking up more clarity about that 8th house energy. All right. So remember, guys, the moon is in Scorpio, sun is in Libra. Be careful diving into any extreme energies in your relationships, but place effort in trying to bring more understanding on a subconscious level in your relationships, aka understanding the intention of your partner, trying to bring more transparency into your relationships. So there's not hidden agendas or energies of feeling hidden that create friction in your relationships. Speaking from here, you got the sun in Libra, moon in water. Speak from here. Don't get too caught up trying to make it sound good. Just communicate from here, and that alone will create some solutions in your relationships. All right. Let a motherfucker feel you instead of trying to sound all good and shit. All right. Take it from an air sign. This is what we trying to do. We trying to make shit sound good. All right. We're trying to say shit other people trying to hear. I mean, in that type of energy right now. We got to connect on a deeper level. All right. And it won't hurt. It won't hurt. I tweeted this yesterday. It won't hurt to take a look at your shadow tendencies in relationships around this time. If your partner, if anybody, any type of group endeavor you may be a part of, if you hear anything about yourself, negative things about yourself around this time, please digest it, receive it, because I don't want that to be something that's continuously brought as a lesson. All right. Very important to understand around this time. And that Mars trine Saturn energy, guys. So that durability you guys are feeling, that extra sense of energy, that extra sense of motivation to get stable, deal with priorities, responsibilities, put an extra little bit more time into your passions. You feel me? Let's ride that wave while we got this energy, because this is a strong ass motherfucking alignment. All right, guys. So peace, family. I hope y'all continue to enjoy y'all week, and I will be tapping in with y'all tomorrow, family. Peace.